Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NINJAGOCast. I am your host, Sensei Wolf.
I'm LJ.
I'm Messa.
I'm Sakota.
I'm Alti.
And I'm Ninja Star Breaker.
What?
That's
That's a good ring to it, actually. Even though there's no ninja stars really in Ninjago,
I did not sign off on this.
Well, welcome everybody back to NINJAGOCast.
Yo.
It's been a hot second.
Yo, how's it
Yo.
going?
It's going. How's everyone doing? We survived the Ninjago drought 2021.
Yeah, we're all a year older now.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Man,
31.
Man, it was last year was when I was on NINJAGOcast. Whoa.
Yeah,
It's
we
been
haven't
so
done
long.
NINJAGOcast since last year. Oh my gosh.
Been
Why,
so
why,
long.
why didn't we do one sooner, Sensei?
Ulti, you're not in your 30s.
It's a great question.
Oh my god.
The answer is Spider-Man.
Oh,
The answer might surprise you.
Yeah. A bunch
yeah.
of news coincidentally broke like a few days before we were gonna go see Spider-Man, and we were all like hyped up.
Oh.
The whole world is about to forget that Alti is in his 20s.
Brilliant.
But yeah, so since the last time that we've had a podcast, we've gotten a brand new wave of Ninjago officially released in stores. Huzzah, happy January 1st release dates for sets. And we've also had some clips of new shorts released, as well as a trailer officially released by LEGO. So today we are going to talk about the brand new set wave, which is called Ninjago Evo, and then of course a couple
actually not.
others. It's not
Ninjago
Ninjago
Core.
Core. Ninjago Core with Ninjago Evo sets. And then we'll talk a bit about the shorts that go along with it, and some of the stuff that's been released or discussed around the shorts. So that's where we're gonna start today. But
Sweet.
so before we really get into it, does anyone have any of the Ninjago Core sets?
No, but I have a question. Why
That's not a
is
set.
Hero Factory Evo in Bionicle Ninjago G3 2022?
That's a
Well,
lot of words.
Evo, Core, Hero
Core
Factory.
is what makes us.
No, I don't have any. Not yet, anyway. But I do plan on getting them.
I don't want many of the sets, but I do want some plugs.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh.
LJ, you want to do some plugs?
Sure. Let's see if I remember them. Thank you, everyone. All right. All right. Oh, yeah. I gotta get in the right mindset, and we don't do this very often. If you're interested in joining the conversation, head on over to the TTV message boards at ttvchannel.com. You need to be 13 years or older and follow and agree to our terms of service and the rules, and you'll have a good time. Also, if you'd like to support us, head on over to patreon.com/theTTVchannel. For as low as $1 a month, you can join our TTV channel Patreon Discord server, as well as our Minecraft server on the islands of Matsui and Voyuri from Bionicle, with hopefully more to come. And make sure to head over to Twitter at the TTV channel, as well as our individual ones.
Woohoo.
Okay, I think that worked.
Thank you.
That worked.
Sensei.
Well,
Thank you.
rough around the edges, but we made it.
All
Sorry, I
right.
zoned out for a second. Could you repeat all that?
Nope.
So I
Sucks for you.
I do have one of the Evo sets. I love my Kopaka mech. It's great. By which I mean, of course, Zane's power-up mech Evo. Because of
Alright.
course I was gonna get that one.
Mhm.
It's pretty neat for reasons that we'll get into when we talk about the wave. I don't really want to jump the gun, but
Mhm.
I like it very much. And in true keeping with the spirit of things, I made a few tweaks to it, which is how I'm going to be displaying it going forward. So everybody, I would like to
yeah.
I'd like to formally introduce you, and LJ would like this picture thrown up on the screen to Kopaka G3.
Oh, I'm sorry,
and
everyone. Were you
G3.
hoping to see that picture on the screen? Well, you're gonna have to give me a moment because I wasn't prepared.
Exactly.
I think he's got a more fitting title though than Kopaka G3, don't you, Massa?
Kopaka Kindoka, sequel to Liwa Kindoka.
You're so right.
I need to get the Hydro Mech to display it.
Boy, oh
Didn't-
boy.
Cole get a mech this season as well? You could do a new with that.
I don't
Oh, no,
think
that-
he
that-
did.
We
Yeah, he
get
did.
to that later. We
That's
will
right,
get to
it
that
was
later.
Guy's mech, wasn't it?
That later.
All right, now I can put the picture up on screen so everyone can see this abomination.
Yes.
Huzzah!
So, big shocker. These figures are very they're very Bionicle adjacent in terms of, proportions, the pre-bent limbs, overall articulation, and I figured what better way to celebrate that than by smacking a mask onto it. I have some thoughts that I'll get into later, but I am glad to have gotten this, and I would recommend anybody who likes figures and misses them at least pick up one of these. It's kind of nostalgic.
Yeah. And it's a low price point too, so it's
Yeah.
Yeah, it only costs $10.
$10 for that mech seems fair. Yeah.
it's very fair. So
Solid.
the other mech is a little more expensive though.
Wait, that
Well,
was
yeah.
$10?
It was.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. That's
So
pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's
anyone
pretty
else?
reasonable.
Yeah.
Anyone else pick up any of the sets?
Technically.
Haven't gotten any of the new
No.
ones yet.
Well,
In the sense that I lifted it off of the shelf briefly before contemplating the contents of my wallet, I did pick up a set, but I then put it back down shortly thereafter.
fair enough.
Nice.
I was still catching up on Seabound sets.
Yeah. But as you all probably know, audience, Lego Ambassador Network through Lego did send TTV the sets for review. If you want to check out those reviews, they're on the channel. We were
All
not
of them?
sent. We were not sent the combo mech, much to our great dismay, and
Yeah.
many tears were shed over it. We also were not sent the Jaya car. Well, I mean,
We
The-
were
the J in the combo
We
Evo.
love the Jaya
at
car.
some point we were gonna be.
Yes.
They were offered to us, but the offer got updated saying, "Sorry, we're not
Yeah.
sending this anymore." So it's like, "Oh yeah, heck yeah, let's do this," and then nope. So
Nope.
it's unfortunate. It happens.
Mhm. I'm planning on picking both of those up though myself. So
but
I'm
I
excited.
would hope so. Because it's
Gee,
Jaya!
why? It's a Jaya car.
And the mech is
love the
apparently,
Jaya
like,
car.
very good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no,
The-
that's not a
I think
The
surprise.
the-
mech looks
mech
The mech looks
phenomenal.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks really good. But yeah. So Tyler looks like he's the only one so far that has
Well.
purchased one of the sets. If you have any, let us know in the comments if you've picked him up, and let us know your thoughts. But we're gonna actually dive in and go one by one with the sets pretty quickly to talk about the thoughts from the whole group with all of these sets.
Two things, real quick. One,
Okay.
I obviously, I didn't purchase any, but because of the reviews through the Lego Ambassador Network, I did bring back with me the Ice Mech and Kai's Fire Mech from the Dojo Temple. But we'll get into that
Yeah.
one in a little bit. Also, Haley, would you like me to read off the set names and numbers, or would you like to do that when I post the?
I've
set?
got the set names and numbers.
Okay,
We don't need to do like we don't need to do like the price, or maybe not the price count, but the piece count, because that's all in the reviews.
Well,
so.
I'm talking about the ones we didn't review.
All right.
There are others we weren't sent.
I'll let you do those when we get to them, but I'll read out all the other ones.
Okay, well you got to tell me in what
do
order
those
because
two
I have
last.
I have everything in a
We'll do
specific
those
order.
two last.
Bruh.
Three. Those three. There's a third.
We'll do those three last.
Okay. All right. In that case, take it away.
All right. So let's start with, funnily enough, Zane's Power Up Mech Evo, set number 71761, which is what Tyler was talking about, the $10
This set is so
tiny
whack.
set.
So
All right, the gates are open, Tyler. Let loose your thoughts.
well, it's not like I hate it, right? It's cool, you know.
Mhm.
That's
For
nice.
what it is, it's great. But like, what's it? I struggle because I've been thinking, you know, through the weeks we've been kind of preparing for this about how to best articulate my thoughts on these mechs. Because for anyone who doesn't know, there was a Twitter thread by our friend and generally awesome person Tooth Dominoes, aka Neek, who kind of went into the design philosophies behind Ninjago Core. It's a big, lengthy thread. It was posted all the way back on December 2nd, and if anybody wants to read it, you know, it's out there. It's going to his Twitter. It's a Twitter thread. One of the big reveals from that thread was the design philosophy that went into these mechs, as he is kind of tentatively referring to it internally, the SCCBS system, which stands for the System, Character, and Creature Building System, which is a direct reference, allegory, analog for CCBS, aka the Bionicle system and the Hero Factory system. And it's really cool. What this means is he's essentially designed these mechs to serve as kind of a template build. So we're going to see more like this. We're going to see ones that kind of add on to the formula with new armor pieces. You know, he has new limb piece concepts that weren't manufactured as of yet, but could potentially be in the future. You know, he's essentially designing the system to be expanded upon. And I think that's really cool. But unfortunately, what we have right now is like the barest bones version of that system. A lot of the pieces he conceptualized didn't get made. And the one piece he did, you know, like the new limb piece, I mean, the meme, as seen in his Twitter thing, is it's locked. It can't
Locked.
actually bend. So people have dubbed it the locked piece.
Genlocked?
Which
Well-
brings us to the rather unfortunate and oft repeated to the point where I get sick of the words in this particular order, no knees syndrome, except applied to $10 sets. Which, to me at least, is very less than ideal, considering we already have a line of mechs literally on store shelves at this moment that do have bendable knees.
What happened to the most recent wave of those?
Yeah, not literally at store shelves.
They're still selling the Thor and the Captain
Yeah.
America ones, but yeah. The newest wave of those has apparently been delayed, not canceled, but delayed. Hopefully they don't show up with these new limb pieces, because that would be pain.
That would
But-
be amazing.
Look, I'm sure there are reasons. He kind of goes into it in his Twitter thread, like the normal build that is being used has been labeled as like too thin, whatever that means. I don't really know what that means. I'm not a technical expert, so I'm
Yeah.
sure there was a reason why this new piece was conceptualized, maybe to make it easier for kids, whatever. It's just difficult for me to personally get all that excited about the system as it exists now. Because it's kind of, I mean, it's objectively inferior to its market contemporaries.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where I sit.
I think what kind of weird is that they're like the same age range too. So the Marvel sets are 6+ as well. So it's not
Yeah.
like a thing of we want to market these to younger kids, so we took out the knees. Maybe it's
Yeah.
like play testing. That's
I'm
what
sure it
I
is.
think
I'm
it
sure that's
probably
what it is.
Yeah.
Too
Likely a
thin.
stability issue for the mixel joints for younger
This-
audiences.
This is actually something that Haley and I can kind of talk on because we were fortunate enough we were invited to and got to participate in a roundtable discussion with some other Lego ambassadors and communities and whatnot, and Neek. And I was it you who asked Haley or was it me?
It was me asking about the process of the creation of SCCBS.
Mm-mm.
What was no, not that.
Not
Oh
that.
no, you asked about the the
I asked about the other
the
mechs.
superheroes
Yeah.
versus CCBS. Okay.
So I asked, whether or not these would stay alongside each other, if, they would be contemporaries and not necessarily SCCBS would be swapping out for, or whether or not the Mixel joints would be swapping out for SCCBS. And we were told that no, because the Marvel mechs, they are aimed at a different part of the audience, and as such, would stick alongside the new SCCBS molds.
A different part of the audience.
The way
Yeah,
see that is a little more my wording than his. His wording was the mechs are aimed at an older audience. The Marvel mechs.
But both of them are 6+ sets,
And that's
on the box.
exactly.
Yeah.
If they're designed that way, they're not marketed that way, so they won't achieve that result.
Which ultimately, that's a thing. It's like spirit of the meaning, spirit of the words, not necessarily the direct meaning. No deal. Because it's obvious that they are designed for an older audience, because we hear time and time again that articulated knees are oftentimes phased out through focus group testing because there are issues with it. They're hard for children to comprehend and play with. So,
which does make sense. I get that.
Was this a joint on the leg? Impossible.
So that's really what it is. Like, I think this new piece, it's very well made. I like the new torso piece. I think it's very well done. Like the articulation these figures have, there's a reason we're comparing them to Bionicle. They really evoke the Avmatoran builds, which were the later era of Bionicle, as well as, the original Bionicle figures, the Toamata from 2001. They straight up had limbs that were basically identical to these. Same amounts of posability.
That was also confirmed through a question that we asked me during the interview. One of the questions I asked was, talk or walk us through the creation of SCCBS. So the inspiration beyond the pieces. How did you create them and whatnot? And it was directly said that he looked at Bionicle SCCBS, those pieces to create SCCBS. It's like the true father of this.
Haley, it's SCCBS. You're saying
SCCBS.
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 It's not exactly an easy acronym.
So the Bionicle was the true father of these pieces to create, and like Tyler was saying, it's very clear in its appearance that it looks incredibly similar to some of the Matoran, even some of the Toa from earlier.
The original Toa and the modern Matoran.
So
these are basically them.
There's more so the original Toa, and I want to put a heavier emphasis on that than I do the Avtorn, simply because the Avtorn limbs. I do, because the Avtorn limbs were much thicker. These are thinner, like the original Toamata limbs.
That's fair, but when I make that comparison, I'm talking about play value.
Yeah, and I think it's more. It's also more important because when it comes to the original limbs, not only were they thinner, but they were at basically the same articulated angle as these. Avtorn limbs had a lot more variety and more angles to work with. It's not as a one-to-one comparison. In addition to just being brittle joints, and that association, I don't think is.
My brain personally associates it with Stars strictly because Stars was showing off a lot of armor additions for the Avtorn limbs, and the customization options this is showing me is making me think of that. So
I get what I'm just saying, and if we want to get granular, he's right. There was a lot of variation in that 3-year time span in terms of the impulse sets. There were a lot of different limb sizes. There were, the freaking Hero Factory sets are the ones that most echo, these in terms of the angling rather than Bionicle.
Yeah.
When I make comparisons to those instead of the original Toa, it's because this is a question best served for another podcast, but when you compare them to the original Toa, it's a lot less favorable because you lack gear functions. I think these are most favorably compared to the impulse buying sets of later construction.
The thing is, though, I disagree with that. And, I mean, Haley, is it okay if we get into this? Because there's like a lot of Bionicle comparison that's about to happen right now.
Oh boy.
Go for it. Because
Okay.
this is the set to do it on, because I mean we have a set like
That's
this
true.
in the future, but this is the big set when it comes to comparing to Bionicle.
That's a good point. It's the only one that's being sold separately.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
Each set sold separately.
I definitely think that comparing them to the Tomata is probably the wisest option, because they are the closest contemporary figures in terms of its thought process. Because when you have something like the Agori or the Stars, they're working at a higher price point than these are. They're also a lot simpler.
I want to stick with that.
Absolutely. The Agori were
higher price point.
Oh, the Agori. Okay, sorry. I forgot that the Agori and the Stars were not
And the Hero Factory
The
heroes.
HF sets too, yeah.
I don't remember what the HF heroes were priced at.
They were $7.99, I believe.
$7.99. Okay.
I think 2.0 did up it to $10, but then we're talking about bendable limbs.
All right.
Yeah.
So in that
wait,
case,
never mind. They were 8 too. Never mind.
okay.
All right, go on.
So the Tomata were
Oh.
7 in 2001.
I mean, if you adjust for inflation, that's...
I know it's comparable.
Nerd.
Then that's my point. It's a comparable price point. For instance, like my favorite Tomata, Liwa, is set number 8535. 36 pieces, $7. The Zane's Power Up Mech is 95 pieces, $10. It's really, really comparable. It's actually quite a few more pieces. You get 2 minifigures. It's good. So
More pieces,
This-
less features.
ultimately, though, articulation is still a feature, and this features 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points of
Same
articulation. Liwamata, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we're talking ball joints. 7
Okay,
points
yeah,
of
because
articulation.
the weapon...
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the weapon hand, yeah.
Exactly. So, when it comes to that, we also have
a function.
we have this rotating saw blade on the ice mech. We have the articulated wrist and the right arm. We have the minifigures. We have the blaster in the hands of the Serpentine. There are a lot of functions. There's a conflict in a box. There is a lot of value from this set. Just because something doesn't have a gear function does not inherently mean that it is lesser than something that has a gear function. Because keep in mind, Liwamata, all the Tomata, could not hold poses unless additional pieces were used. They had the function, which was great, but they also could not stand still. Their arms couldn't stay in one place because the gear function wasn't rigid. This set has full static, it's got full articulation, which can hold itself well, which lends well to play, to posing, you know?
And to be fair, like, if we're talking functionality, this also has, like, the whole Evo function they advertise.
Yeah.
Which I know is a whole other topic.
I have some thoughts on that, but I'll save that for other sets. I get the point that you're making. It's a hard thing for me to connect with. Because you're right, objectively, you know, stuff like the snake having a blaster is a play feature. Yes, that is, in the most technical sense of the term, true, and perhaps for the target demographic, that is something to care about. You know, I admit I'm looking at this from the perspective of, you know, a Bionicle fan seeing, you know, and weighing and comparing and contrasting, you know, the design principles of figures. And for me, for that amount of pieces, and if you don't have a function, which I don't think is mandatory, especially not in 2022, you better bring the A game with the articulation.
I see, and I feel like that might strictly be our limited scope of being Bionicle fans, because
Maybe.
we got spoiled in terms of action figures. Like we really truly did, because like Meso, would it be a far cry to say that your favorite canister wave from Bionicle was the Toa Nika from 2006?
I'd say before G2, yes.
Yeah, that's arguable. That's fair. Toa Nika, they retailed for $10 in 2006. They had multitude degrees more articulation than this right here does.
But LJ, at the same time, you can right now get the Marvel mechs with more articulation for the same price. So.
Oh yeah, they are $10, aren't they?
Yeah.
And
these are objectively lacking.
Well, I think that these have a better, like, appearance, I would
agree.
say.
Yeah, I agree.
It does not come with the same function of play. But also depends on how you want to play with them. If you want to do full action poses, this probably isn't the right thing. But if you want like something just to have as like an action figure where you hold, I'm thinking kind of like a regular action figure that doesn't really have much posability or whatnot.
This would probably come out on top.
This would come out. This is like a cool little. Like I said in the reviews, it's incredibly sturdy. Like this thing is not sturdy. Really falling apart unless you were like LJ and you chuck it against my bed at full force. But other than that, it's very, very, very sturdy. It's true action figure toy.
Yeah, I want to you're completely right. Yes, go.
And to be fair, these also come with one more minifigure, which usually ups the price a bit. So
that is true. Conflict in a box. That's an important thing, I know. I want to just make clear on my messaging. It's not that I think this is bad. It's that it's hard for me to get excited about this.
Yeah, I mean that's also because it's not made for us. Like
perhaps
we got Zane's, Titan mech, which is not made for people who want a tiny action figure in their hands. You play with that bad boy, you're gonna be shedding pieces left and right every second. But with this, you can truly play with it. So we got our set. Ninjago is inherently a kids theme. Now the kids have their set too. So
yeah, to be fair, I actually really like this mech from the looks of it. I really want to get it. I haven't gotten it yet, but it just looks pretty good for, like, especially compared to the other Evo sets. This one it doesn't look like lacking like there were any compromises.
Once we move on to other Evo sets that involve the SCCBS pieces, this one definitely utilizes it, I would say, the best. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I think with the Zane mech, you're paying for the aesthetic as opposed to articulation, because with like the Avengers mech, it's got multiple points of articulation, as was said, but it also looks very flimsy. None of like a lot of the bones are only like one brick width.
Yeah,
too thin.
Too thin. Whereas with Zane's, it's very clearly robust.
Mm-hmm.
It's
got really good armor. I love the armor on it.
I think robust is like the best. It looks battle ready, which is what it says on the back of the box.
I got that right.
With the Iron Man one, I'm not quite so sure. Like, those thin limbs don't sell the aesthetic to me that well, and also like I guarantee that many mixel joints is going to be a nightmare for a kid to pose. Like, even now, looking at like the Iron Man one, I'm thinking if I'm holding that and I'm like flailing it around, I'm whacking that serpentine with it, those limbs are going every which way with like
they are.
Mech.
I can vouch I'm doing that right now.
Yeah. An imbecile, and I'm smacking my Zane mech against the table. It won't break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
I think
fair points.
And ultimately, I think that's maybe the appeal to me, is that it serves more functions than just that. Like, it has articulation where it really needs articulation, which is in the wrists. the elbows,
Yeah.
or sorry, not the elbows, the
No.
shoulders, the hips, the ankles. Like,
Yeah.
I can still get this into some really cool action poses. It's not unarticulatable. And
Is this true?
to me, it honestly speaks very heavy to my nostalgia for the original Toamata, because similar articulation points. In fact, it's better articulation because in the hips and the shoulders, this has generally better range of motion than a Toamata does.
Better Bionicle. Better Bionicle.
Listen here.
And see, that's the thing. It's all about like
It's
Like
does the one more point of articulation. I mean, in terms of a play set, yes, it does unequivocally make it better, quote unquote, than the first part of Bionicle. But again, I would say in terms of design, you've sacrificed a lot. Do I think these should have gear functions? No, that's not what I'm saying. But when I compare it to Bionicle, that is a lack, so I would not say it's better Bionicle.
an interesting question, though. I think this might last longer.
What do you mean last?
I mean, I can see that.
Longer
As
than
in
10 years.
I mean, as not maybe not. I mean, when I mean last longer, the pieces themselves are not fragile. They are not easily broken.
Well,
I've seen
I
mixed
hate to say
joints
that.
break.
I have more than my fair share of broken mixed.
yeah, I don't know if I'd be ready to write them.
Well, I mean the pieces, not the mixel joints, like the new SCCBS,
The locked pieces.
the locked.
I
Pieces.
mean, yeah, if you're gonna
Haley.
break those, you must be violent.
Haley, I got bad
throwing
news
stuff
for you.
against the pillow.
I got bad news for you, Haley.
Mm?
Do you recall? I mean, you build these. The SCCBS pieces don't have joints.
Yeah.
You plug the mixel joints into the SCCBS pieces. The SCCBS pieces are just the limb. The only things that can break, you know what I mean? Like,
Or the mixel joints. Yeah.
are the mixel joints.
Fair.
I think for a set this good looking for like £8, $10 is I think it's a steal, especially
Yeah.
considering that like the cost of like other sets like the
Yeah. If
I don't
there's
know, I
one
think it's a
set
deal.
that you should pick up from this wave, if you want one set, this is probably the one to get. If you don't want to
I
spend a
agree.
lot of money, because it's an easy set. It's really good looking, like Ulti said, and it also comes with get ready for it, the Zane minifigure.
You seen that torso printing? Oh my god!
Jeez.
It's getting hot in here.
I do have a question about the stability and about the new SCCBS pieces, because the standard Mixel socket pieces that I've held so far, I've noticed that they tend to be a softer plastic. What about the larger SCCBS parts, though? Are they also that softer plastic, or is it a different type of plastic?
Probably
Is it
just-
the standard harder one?
the SCCBS.
assume
SCCBS
for
is
those
the
of you that
same
have-
Didn't plastic.
Didn't you?
Yeah, it's just like Lego
Didn't you have
plates.
some of them for the Monkey Kid review?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
No, I'm. Oh, sorry. Brain was confused. I mixed up a couple parts in my head.
Yeah.
Zach, you are funny. You are funny, man.
Yeah.
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 I'm
don't know.
funny.
Anyway, back to that Zane torso, though.
Yeah, you can probably
Oh,
just
I like
chuck it out.
No,
you
no.
can get all that just for $10. Whoa.
I feel bad. I've already benched the Zane minifigure for a Kopaka mask.
Can I have it?
I really like the new minifigure prints for these sets overall. Like
The printing is very
Zane's,
solid on
Zane's
them.
of course,
Yeah.
one of the best.
Yeah, most of the
Oh,
ninja
yeah.
look absolutely incredible.
I like
I
that
agree.
most of them include replaceable hair as well.
I'm glad
So,
that's the new
interesting.
norm.
That's a very
Except-
good new norm.
Except for Cole, but I suspect that's because I hope they're working on a new hairband piece for him where he's got like the same textured headband as the rest of them, as opposed to like the flat band that he had.
What are you
would
talking
be
about?
nice.
Cole's minifigure is fine.
We love squares. Or whatever.
Cole's
Alright.
minifigure
Just
is
keep
so
it
good.
inside.
We
Keep
can
it
move on, I
inside.
think.
We'll
Yes,
get
I
to
have-
him when we'll get to him.
I have more thoughts on this system, but we could talk about it for like an
Oh,
hour.
yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
can
I don't
move
know.
on.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think my whole thing here is I like it. I think it's reminiscent of the original Bionicle sets. I agree in the sense that it is lacking a gear function, and don't get me wrong, I'm biased to it. Like my favorite Lego set is that Liwamata set. It is nothing beats it for me personally, but I also know it isn't perfect. You know, it doesn't have great articulation. The gear function does make the arms floppy, but of course, like, I still love it. I just think that these are a really good, not necessarily a continuation of them, but they are definitely a really good modernization of that general size frame.
I'm really excited for.
I think if they
yeah.
expanded on it with like the pieces that Neek's already designed, it could be really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see where they take it from here. I think this is a good stepping stone and platform to evolve and continue experimenting with.
I don't know.
Well,
I
let's
think
talk about
they-
let's see it. Let's talk
I
about
don't
it in another set. We'll see how it's used in a different form, and then we can come back to this conversation.
Okay.
That's
So let's move on to the 71760 Jay's Thunder Dragon Evo. So now we move away from a mech, and as you can tell from Tyler, we move into a dragon.
I like dragons.
What are we thinking about the SCCBS?
Dragons are neat, you know.
The dragon.
It's blue and
It's not even the right color blue.
and it's got a jaw.
It's got
Yeah.
wings.
Yeah,
It
it
does
has
have
wings.
That is a cool thing. Yes.
God, it's got Jay.
It's got feet.
So
It's a lizard. Lizards are cool. I like lizards.
to say I'm not impressed by this would be the truth. But again, it's not, you know, it's not made for me. It's not made for our age group. For being
Really,
a
Maso? You don't come into 6+?
no, I don't. For being a tiny little dragon, it's fine. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's fine.
We're just so used to big bombastic dragons from Ninjago, and so we get this, and we're like, one clap. Anyways,
If I was a kid, I'd say there's a 50% chance that I would like this. As an adult, there's a 0% chance I'd like this, and that might, I think that's as fair of an approach as can be taken. It's just too blocky. It looks like a Duplo set.
It reminds me of those, like, I could be like messing up the time frame here, but like those 2007, 2008 Mega Bloks dragons that came in those giant hard-shelled eggs, and you pull them out and they're like 90% already built, and you just add a couple extra pieces to it so that's still technically compatible with it. It really reminds me of those when looking at it.
Yeah. There's just something about it. I think what it is for me, it's the fact that its body is like a stick, but also it's the fact that the body and the tail are peppered with like that rounded kind of piece that has the two studs on top. That look don't work for me. Not one little bit. I think I would have preferred if that was just smooth, or if they'd used like cheese slopes, or even the piece that the rest of the body uses to just keep it consistent and make it look like scales. My eyes are drawn to that piece, and it ruins the look. And I think that's the piece that keeps making me think like Duplo, because that's a common like Duplo piece, just in bigger form. The rest of it looks fine. It's just simple, you know. I like the new wing piece. My brain is like conditioned to register anything with like an axle and a bushing for the axle as construction adjacent.
Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
thinking of ways that could be used in like builds. It's a cool looking piece.
I know that
I
this.
like
feel like
that
the-
piece. a lot. The headpiece that go along with the wings. It looks really cool.
I like the headpiece. I feel like the wing placement is kind of weird.
Yeah,
that too.
that's a way of putting it.
He doesn't have wings on his back. He has wings on his like
elbows,
forearms.
Yeah.
Agony.
I just like arms, so we put arms on your arms.
I feel like that's the
why
I like the Zane mech so much, because it's like, even though it's a 6+ set, it uses similar pieces. I like how it looks, but this I don't really like how the finished product looks.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's sturdy. I'll tell you that much. Like, that's gonna be my one thing against all these Evos is like, it doesn't look too hot, but man, it is sturdy.
What are you talking about?
This dragon is not falling apart.
I don't know if we tested that. I didn't throw it across a room.
Well, I picked it up and I think I picked it up and I kind of shook it like I was playing with it, and like
Meso could try.
Things weren't gonna fly off.
I would try.
You would, yes. If you threw it against a wall, it would break.
If someone buys that for me and sends it to me, I will throw it against the wall and I will record myself doing it.
Oh, I meant the Parker Kendoka.
Oh no, I'm not gonna throw that. He's cool. He's precious.
Besides, that was already tested, and it shattered against my pillow.
Yeah,
I wish we got a shot of it shattering because
I love Copac.
In all fairness, that might have just been my unyielding strength, so it's hard to tell.
I swear I started.
You wear the mask of levitation.
I swear
Haley sleeps
the golden one though.
I started to hear the Zane sacrifice music from somewhere when that happened.
But I think this really shows the greatest disconnect in terms of how we look at Lego sets versus how they're valued by like other people.
Kids.
Yeah, like kids, for instance, because as a kid, I'm sure that this is going to be a really, really good set. It does have reasonable articulation. It's got a very bright and vibrant color scheme. Mm-hmm. It has a very, I don't want to even say simple look, but it's a very straightforward design. But there are some elements of like more advanced design work. Like there is a level of play here that I think people would really enjoy. I like the J minifigure. I actually really do like the new yellow, because it's a differentiated yellow from their like skin tone. I like it a lot.
What should we call it? Like mustard yellow?
I've been calling it pale
yellow.
It's pale yellow to me.
All right.
Gross.
So all in all, like apparently it's called cool yellow on Brickset.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should rename it to cringe yellow because it looks terrible.
Is that not all yellow? No.
Cringe yellow.
Oh.
Yeah. You've got yellow, Keats, and now cringe yellow.
I guess
can we call it ulti yellow?
Ooh, I'm down for calling it ulti yellow.
Ulti yellow.
So much.
So
I think at the end of the day, I'll agree with you, LJ, on that. Especially with like, I think kids are going to look at this, and what's going to appeal to them is the overall silhouette and the fact that it's a recognizable and fun character for them to play with. Like, they're not going to care about how many points of articulation they are if they are within the recommended age bracket that this set is targeting. They're going to be like, wow, my favorite character is a robot. It's a ninja and a robot and a dragon. Let's fight. Woo!
Yeah, and exactly. And it's like, I can see this being a set that a kid finds immensely nostalgic looking back. Like, they're going to look back and be like, yeah, that was one of my favorite Ninjago sets. I know it might not be well regarded now by older fans, but I really liked this one. This one I had a lot of fun with. And I could see why, there are a lot of fun aspects for younger builders, but we look at it from a very different perspective because some of us have grown up with Ninjago. Some of us are used to many of Ninjago's very fantastic dragons with large part counts, large points of articulation, just very impressive in stature and size. Some of us are used to even smaller dragons that still have a lot of detail, and they're really well crafted. Some of us are looking for that refinement, that articulation that's really impressive, the way that pieces are used. But this isn't trying to cater to us, it's trying to cater to a very young, jovial, fun-loving a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
for some,
got a,
His romantic depiction of all the joys of
Well,
Lego
let's
building.
But I mean, like, let's.
We-
But really, though, because we're looking at this from a very like.
Just keep in mind, I'm not decrying this because of the articulation it has.
No, I know.
I think it has a perfectly fine degree of articulation. Actually, it has better tail articulation than the freaking Skull Sorcerer's dragon.
Yeah.
I just think it looks ugly.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong.
It's a
That
stick.
that all said, I'm not a fan of this dragon. I don't like the blue that is used here. I wish it was Jay's blue.
I don't like the yellow.
Oh, ulti yellow.
Thank you, Ulti.
I don't like the fact that they use dark blue in combination with these brighter shades. I feel like that contrast is a little too jarring. I don't like the legs at all. I don't think that their utilization is like, I remember the back hips were really awkward and it was hard to do a whole lot. Like, I don't honestly know why they were on ball joints because it didn't matter. Like, they could have been on a singular axis and like it wouldn't have made much of a difference. The front legs are way too long and lanky compared to the back. There's some like sizing issues, proportional issues, like the tail in its final form, like that first chunk of the tail is really thick, and then the tail like shrinks like dramatically. Yeah. It's like a drop off.
It was definitely made for more play than for articulation, and I mean you can see that in one of the lifestyle images. The reason it's a stick is so the kid has somewhere to like grab for maximum swooshability.
Yeah. I don't know. Like looking at this, like I'm thinking of my younger siblings, for example, like especially my younger brother, who is currently, I think he's like 8 years old right now. But I can tell you for a fact, he would look at this thing and he'd just be like, "Whoa, awesome lizard, yo!" Like. Pick it up and swoosh it around, play with it, not caring about proportion. He'd just look at it and be like, "That's a dragon! That's awesome!" So.
It's so odd. I feel like I'm gonna be like the boomer who's like back in my day, because like when I was 6 years old, I was building Barag.
Yeah, I mean that's also fair, but like, I guess it's not really a fair comparison because I don't think that the set I'm about to compare it to necessarily looks bad, and I think it would have been a more apt comparison to compare it to maybe like the Zane mech we just got talking about, but like power miners, the Crystal King, for example, super limited articulation, really big and blocky, and yeah, he was made of rocks and stuff, but I have really fond memories of that set. But looking at that thing right now, it is not exactly like the most.
Crystal King.
It is not the most interesting thing to look at. It is
it's
a slab of gray with very fragile fingers and a hinged jaw, and that's the appeal.
Yeah, but I didn't mind that he was a slab of gray though, because it's power miner.
Yeah.
Right, but like that's the thing though, is like we liked that back then, and so we're probably looking at it a little more fondly than we would right now than if that was something that just came out.
That's fair. You right.
What I don't like about this set is the price.
How much is it?
Because it's $20 for 140 pieces.
Big
like,
yeesh.
It's probably like the wing pieces and the head piece, but like I'd rather get 2 Zane mechs than this dragon. Like if I compare it like that.
That's fair.
Interesting.
But yeah, so that's one dragon. Shall we talk about the next dragon? Upscale a little bit. Let's talk about
I have something good to say. Let's go.
Mesto exasperated side.mp3.
We trade one villain for another.
Yeah.
Let's talk about set number 71762, Kai's Fire Dragon Evo.
It's a dragon.
It's a dragon.
It's
a bigger dragon.
It's an Evo.
It's an Evo.
Definitely more interesting
it's
of
the
a
red
build.
one. It is.
It's got a more interesting build. It does look less janky, but still kind of janky. Like it's difficult for me to describe what bugs me about this dragon. I think whereas with the last one it was the torso, I think this dragon's actually built very well. I actually like how the torso is built a lot. For me, it's the legs. And like they look very
feet.
spindly, and the feet are so tiny, and the
Mhm.
ankles are so thin, too thin. They're just so thin. It robs him of like he doesn't look imposing, and the fact that they're like, yeah, I know dragons have claws, yada yada yada, but you see this like red, fiery orange and gold dragon, and the feet are just like white and brown stubs connected to gray ankles and black stubby legs. The whole appearance is just ruined.
I think the
Yeah.
wings are kind of goofy.
Why do they
The,
go
wing,
forward?
the wings are really
Why?
goofy.
The way they are connected looks kind of weird. Yeah.
Mhm. It looks like that he's trying to stab something in front of him, then like fly.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the gliding lizards, the ones where they like.
I'm
I
not
don't
a
know if
fan.
You're not wrong.
I sound like completely insane.
I am
Gliding lizard.
not
I know
a-
what you mean.
I am not a fan of the bottom jaw.
That's a
think-
new piece, right?
It is a new
bottom
piece,
jaw?
but it really
I like it.
really makes like the top jaw look small, very very small compared to it. Like it's
It does, but
I
like
mean-
underbite is a thing with some dragons.
Yeah,
looks
that's
like
that's a
the
very common
invasion
thing
from
for like
below.
dragons and reptiles and stuff. Like Jago says, it's very reminiscent of Invasion from Below, or even some of the other. Or haven't there been other Ninjago dragons that have had kind of like a larger underjaw?
maybe not that large.
I mean, the dragons are typically on a larger scale, so it's
Yeah.
probably just less
And I mean,
noticeable. But
that's good because when I look at this dragon, I see giant jaw, tiny feet, and it just it like what Tyler was saying. How the tiny feet don't really work well with a dragon because of how big his head is, because of how big his jaw is. You see that in the feet, and it just doesn't really match up in my head.
I get that. There's definitely like this set has no equilibrium. It looks very whack. Like say what you will about the Thunder Dragon, but like I think it looks pretty proportional to its build, and then the Fire Dragon just looks top heavy and lopsided.
Oh,
Those
I'd like
legs
to
do-
see-
we're gonna
legs
get to
do
a
not
top heavy dragon.
look like it can support it.
Mhm.
I'd
The
like to
wings-
see this dragon with the legacy fire dragon head. I think that would look cool.
That could be cool. That could be cool.
I really do not like that the wings go forward. It looks like a Star Wars starfighter design, and not a dragon.
I feel like it would be helped if the wings were set further back on the dragon, but they're
Oh,
on
wow.
the dragon's
Yeah.
Okay,
shoulder
that-
blades.
That pic Meso just posted is bad.
Yeah.
They go so far forward.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like it either because they feel almost like the dragon is reaching for something, even though it has like proper limbs.
Yeah.
It's like give.
Yeah, it just I don't know.
It's
It-
funny if I imagine their arms.
It's like
yeah.
it's like they wanted to bring Flame back into this with the arms, but they were just wing pieces, so they're like, we have to do arms anyways. And it's like he has 2 sets of arms
yeah,
that are just
Yeah.
there.
this
I mean, like a traditional dragon is supposed to have 4 legs and then their wings. So this is
True.
technically a traditional European dragon, but like
Yeah.
it does
very
come
far
off a
forward.
little goofy with the wings going so far forward.
It looks
And
like a
the one-
scorpion.
And when you
Yeah.
Yeah, kind
like, when you articulate the wings and you do the wing function of it, like actually like waving, it doesn't wave. It goes back and forth. Like there's no up and down motion. It's just like forward and back, which doesn't
Wow.
provoke
Wait.
flying.
So
Isn't
when
it
you say
like
forward
just-
and back? Does that mean that the wings can look like they're in a normal position?
No, they're just on an axle, right?
Is it an axle?
Like
wait,
it's a pin axle.
yes, it
right?
is.
Okay. So I think that might be the farthest it goes forward, but when it comes back, it's still very close to that.
Oh.
See, that's better.
Yeah, but he like has half his wings missing. I'm just
Oh,
trying to show
well,
like that's how they're
nice.
attached. They're attached via
Mhm.
like the axle. So they can go like up.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
they can go up and down, right?
That's
Yeah.
it. They can only go up and down. They don't go forward and back.
Okay.
Gotcha. That's what you meant. Okay.
I mean that does make a certain kind of sense though, because that's like the flapping motion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
They're still-
I can understand that.
Yeah. I want to just looking at the previous picture that was posted. I'm even more sold on the lower jaw in that picture because I don't know. It doesn't look too
Yeah, the
large.
jaw looks
I,
good to me.
I really like that jaw
Yeah, I
piece.
don't.
Actually,
From that
I don't
angle,
have
it
any
looks
con.
nice, but from the other angle, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really
I
have
like
a
the
con against the jaw.
I like the jaw. I like the use of the blade pieces they had in Seabound too, but the
Mhm.
wings
Yeah.
kind of kill it for
Yeah.
me.
Like I feel
It's
like
not
the
entirely.
torso of the dragon looks great, especially when it's fully finished with the gold. Like even like from like the upper arms, upper legs, upper tail, that all looks really cool and nice. And then it all falls apart once you go really past that.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I look at this and I don't really see. Ooh, this would be a fun set to build. I see. Man, that's got a lot of cool mocking parts on it.
Yeah, that's what I was
I-
thinking too. This set looks
would-
like you immediately want to like improve it in some ways.
Yeah,
Like,
I would
it looks very
immediately
easy to make
cannibalize
it
this and
better.
make something new out of it.
Hmm.
It's not a favorite. It's not without redeeming qualities, but we're 3 for 3 so far in the could use improvement range,
Mhm.
and I think now's a good time to talk about Evo.
Yeah,
No.
now that
I
we've
love
seen all
him.
the sets.
I think we have one more
He was
Evo
yellow.
set.
I mean, there are more
we,
Evo
we
sets.
have one more.
I do want to say, I feel like this dragon is a little busy color scheme wise. Like it's got fire engine red, it's got orange, it's got gold, it's got translucent orange, it's got brown. I don't know. I feel
once
like
you go below and you get the brown, that's when it starts falling apart.
I
I think
honestly
it-
feel like this could use one color less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably
It
the brown.
definitely
Yeah.
it definitely has like the clumsy color scheme of like combine these two sets together and armor up your dragon to create blank.
I don't
Like,
know. I
that's-
don't mind the fiery shades. It's just this is a Tahu scheme. The brown does throw it off for me though.
Hmm.
Also, the mixel joints stick out a lot in this one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because they have to be gray.
Yeah.
Agony.
So
Yeah.
Do you want
Let's
to wait
move-
to
let's
talk
move
about all the
on.
Evos?
yeah, let's move on to the last Evo set that we can talk about.
There's 2 more Evo sets, right?
Is it this one and then the Lloyd's?
Yeah,
Okay.
2 cars.
I forgot
right.
about the other car. My bad.
All right. So let's do Lloyd's car, and then we'll do Jay and Nia's car, and then we'll talk about
Okay.
Evo.
Okay.
So the first car we're going to talk about is set number 71763, which is Lloyd's race car Evo.
I'm not even gonna make a noise at this one. I'm just gonna ask you, LJ, as the resident lover of green cars, does this one meet your expectations?
More or less.
It's a
Nice.
race car.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that one
Lloyd's
looks
race
good.
car. It's a
Or go
it's-
Burr.
This
I
is the
think-
one. This is the Evo set that I almost wanted to hold on to because it just felt. I don't know. It was a good car, and then the back. Oh my gosh, what's the name of it?
The spoiler.
The
Spoiler.
spoiler. I think the spoiler is what really makes the car because it screams Ninjago. But the car itself has a good color scheme. The colors were great, of course.
It's a brilliant
and
color
it's-
scheme.
Yeah, and I feel like
Oh,
even the
yeah.
additional pieces on the side help with its like the form of it. But yeah, that's spoiler. It looks like they took
spoiler?
it straight off. Of
Spoiler
the,
alert! Hello.
Ha ha ha. It looks like it got like it was taken from the monastery and just plopped onto a car.
It's a good car. It's no Ninja Nightcrawler, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
the Ninja Nightcrawler, definitely looks better and I think is cooler. But it's also cheaper and for a younger
Yeah.
age
Yeah.
bracket. So I think for with those like considering those 2 facts, it's really good.
Yeah, I like the engine block guns. That's a pretty cool idea.
oh yeah.
In the interest of being fair, because I want to say something nice, there are some elements of this car's design I do actually prefer to the Nightcrawler. Not a lot, but some. I like the heavier emphasis on lime. The Nightcrawler had a lot of lime on the back. This car has a lot of it on the front, so it catches attention more. And I don't know, I like that color diversity.
Yeah, me too.
You get pretty much all three visible, like right at the front. And I do like that thing on the back. What was it? The spoiler.
Spoiler.
Yeah, that. I like that with the blades sticking outwards.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
There are
I don't
two
know how I
things
feel
don't-
about the front bumper. It's kind of goofy.
There are two things I don't really like. It's the that there's like a gap in the windshield, which is kind of weird, and I feel like the spoiler's a bit too big for my taste.
It is a bit big. You're not wrong.
That's why it's screaming Ninjago. It's not like, it's saying it's Ninjago. It's like, guess what? I'm a Ninjago car. Deal with it.
Usually a big spoiler is screaming something else, but we will.
That is
ignore
fair.
That.
Yeah, it's a car. I don't really have too much to say about it. It's not horrible. It's not offensive.
Mhm.
It has wheels.
Yeah.
Thumbs
Wow.
up.
It's a good
It
legacy
drives.
Nightcrawler.
The little go-kart is cool too.
I am in love with that. It's like the sequel to the Iron Man 3 go-kart of Doom.
The flamethrower buggy of doom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you put the Serpentine on there, he's also got the flamethrowers.
That's
Can we get like
He's
Can we get, like,
upgraded
the-
from one flamethrower to two.
Where's Mandarin?
can we get like a game that's like Mario Kart with just with like
Never
little Lego vehicles?
I mean, you
Awesome.
could probably take that bottom piece for it and build little Mario Karts with them.
I love that. So
Different
good.
colors.
So good.
I like this car. I like it a lot. It does not usurp the Ninja Nightcrawler, but unfortunately it's hard to compare the two because the Ninja Nightcrawler is just so much bigger. I think it's a $50 set compared to a $30
It's
set.
a 40.
Oh, wait,
I think
what?
it's 40 and 30.
$40.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I feel like that's...
We're lowering expectations. It has half as many pieces for $10 less.
One thing I forgot to mention with Kai's Fire Dragon is that it's a $30 set, and it does not feel like it's a $30
It's
set.
a $30 set?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Kai's Dragon and this car Evo is the same price point.
Yeah,
I would
and the Kai's
never-
Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
The
I
Kai's
would
Dragon has
never take
204 pieces. So, like,
Kai's Dragon, I
Not
see
looking
that
too
as
great.
more of a
$25.
$20 set.
yeah.
Not a 25. I'd say 20.
I just want to
Kai-
highlight here that we are paying for what I would essentially call like a juniorization tax,
Yeah.
more or less.
Yeah, big pieces, big molds.
So even for this Lloyd car, I think both are well designed. I think there is an excuse of, well, it's cheaper than the old car, so it's okay to look this way. But we got 552 pieces for $40 for the Nightcrawler, 279 pieces for $30, and this, it's literally half the pieces for 10 fewer dollars. That's not chill. That is
Lloyd got-
decidedly not chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the J Dragon should have been 15 and the Kai Dragon like 20.
I agree.
That would be
Yeah.
fair. But yeah.
I concur. But that's all I got. It doesn't look horrible.
Yeah.
It's neat.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about the last Evo set.
I love my snake chopper and other thing.
Quite like this car.
You want to introduce it to LJ?
Oh, yes, sorry, I forgot. All right, so this is going to be set number 71776, Jay and Nia's Race Car Evo. The set contains approximately 536 pieces and retails for $50.
No, that's a race car.
So this is interesting because man, that whole revelation about the Ninja Nightcrawler being 40 has kind of shook me.
I'm
Because
sorry.
that's such a fantastic set. Like, I love that set so much and didn't think it was that... I mean, that's a pretty reasonable price, too.
Mm-hmm.
You still have a conflict in a box, and the cars... Anyway. So, this is interesting because this is $10 more than the Nightcrawler, and you're basically getting 2 vehicles. And for 536 pieces, that's a pretty good price-part ratio. I definitely think that this is a better looking race car than Lloyd's is. It just feels sturdier, it feels more streamlined, it feels more coherent. The spoiler isn't as big either. The one caveat is I don't know what the Evo function is. Why is this an Evo set? Because I'm looking at the back of the box, and it's not showing me any.
I think it's just a
Evoisms.
Nia split thing.
Yeah.
Probably the
Yeah,
golden
Jet.
blades as well.
Well,
But-
I guess.
There's something about this car I really don't really like, and for me it's like it doesn't look like a Ninjago car to me. I think like the meme is that Ninjago cars are just cars with a bunch of blades sticked onto them, but I feel like that's not all. But to me, this one looks just like a Speed Champions car.
It does look like a
golden
very
blades
realistic human
onto
car.
it. Yeah.
It does.
So
The
and
front
we have
is
never had
very
like
aggressive.
a Ninjago car like that, and I don't know. For me, it doesn't feel Ninjago.
I think it's I mean the cockpit isn't really what you would call it, but like the
windshield.
windshield looks real.
Yeah.
Like
It's a very well done, like,
it isn't
front-
traditional.
Speed
it's-
Champion windshield.
Yeah, which
So
I don't think we've ever had an Ninjago car that has that.
Nope. Jay's
So
gonna
it-
join NASCAR.
But
Listen, he's
I think-
depressed. He has to get his thrills somewhere.
is that on top of like realistic looking front of the car with like the headlights are?
yeah,
I mean that's cool, and I think it works. But that with the windshield together makes this look like a real race
Speed
car,
Champion.
a
set.
speed
Mhm.
champion set. So
I like the chopper a lot though.
The chopper's the best part of this
Pretty
set.
good.
Chopper.
I love the chopper so
It
much.
reminds
it's so like
me-
detailed and colorful and
It reminds me of the chopper that you get with the firstborn set. in
Yeah,
Hunted.
the Dragon
yeah,
It's
except
Hunter.
with
very,
not
very
boring
similar.
colors.
Yeah, it doesn't have boring colors. It's pretty orange, teal, and I love how they paired teal with the serpentine. They didn't have to do that, but they did, and I love it.
They need something
And-
to make them stand out.
I thought that was just light grey.
I'm coming for you later, Serpentine.
Ulti.
Oh no, Ulti.
You're colorblind, huh?
I hate you.
Oh, no wonder you think that's a good looking yellow. You're colorblind.
Exactly.
What is this? All right.
Why?
Just
I
for that, I'm
That's so
bullying
mean.
this car. This car sucks. I hate it. I really want to like it because it looks like an actual car. Why are the front wheels so abysmal? What is that? And why is the splitter so big? It's obscene. I hate this car so much.
Yep.
Aw.
The guns on the front are kind of cool because it reminds me of the blue car from Hot Wheels that did the exact
Oh
same
my
thing.
god.
And that guy was British, so he was pretty cool in my opinion.
Fair enough.
Do the guns like? Can you can't really put them like hide them away, right?
I think that it's hard to tell, but I think
It's hard
there's
to
like a
tell,
little
yeah.
bit out to the sides where they like you put them down and they like swivel into that, but I'm not
Okay.
sure.
That's
I think they
cool.
are just
If
permanently
that
up.
works, that's cool.
If it doesn't, it sucks.
I like Nia's little glider. That kind of pops off because as part of the car, that's the only part that I'm like, yeah, that looks like Nia's addition to the car rather than Jay's. And yeah, it's hers because of the coloring. And
had
it
no
looks
reason.
nice on the car too.
I
I
had
think-
no reason to be reminded of this, but I was reminded of those sets where you had the pump that you stomped on to send your car skittering across the room or whatever. I just had a mental image of like somehow affixing this to one of those and stomping on that pump and sending Nia like shooting across the room.
I'm gonna give you all a very depressing fact. I think this Nia glider is the first vehicle we ever got in her gunmetal and azure color scheme.
Wow.
That's funny.
And it will be the
think
last.
glider.
No, I'm kidding.
I think as far as cars go, Jay's definitely like made an upgrade from the Drownmobile.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm
The Drownmobile looks cooler though.
No, it doesn't.
Mom.
I hate the Drownmobile as well.
Mom, can we get a
okay.
Drownmobile?
from looking at the Drownmobile.
Can we
Other
get a
names
Drown?
include Jay's Tombmobile, James Deathmobile.
Mom, can we get a Drownmobile? Honey, we have a Drownmobile at home. Drownmobile at home.
I'll
I
never
sure hope
forgive
you don't have a
I'll
Drownmobile
never-
at home.
Listen, every vehicle is a Drownmobile if you try hard enough, Holty.
Still salty.
Please
Jay.
don't.
Yeah, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't try this at home, kids.
LJ is a trained professional. Performing this on a closed circuit.
Today, on Ninja Gear.
I'll make that after the show ends.
Anyways, let's talk about Evo now as
Oh, he
a
was
function.
my favorite.
I do like his yellow and purple colors.
I'm more of a
Yellow.
Nex fan myself.
Really?
I'm
Funny.
somewhat of a Nex fan myself.
Follow me on Hero Book.
Nope,
Oh
nope,
my God.
nope.
Yeah, but he was cool. He came out and was like, "Oh, I'm meditating," and he just shot a bunch of drones. I'm like, Evo, he's so cool.
So
How you hold up, Sensei?
Let's talk about Evo.
what is the Evo system?
What's the Evo function? Well,
Good question.
Evo function is this fun thing that you can do where when you're building the set, you have a quote unquote finished product that isn't finished. You will then level it up to add gold pieces to the complete finished product.
Yes.
Now, I would
Lego-
imagine this is for a play function so that you have a version of the set that is not powered up, so you can in story and like your own imagination and playtime say, yes, we're going to need to power up this mech to defeat the big bad, or we need to power up this dragon or whatnot. However,
when I was
the-
a kid, I too wanted to build sets that look like garbage, and then make them look not garbage.
when they're not when you're building the set and then you get to like you're done, you're time to evolve it, and you look at your done set and you're like, wow,
You see,
this sucks.
Sucks.
you see, Lego leveled up their generosity and gave us a bunch of gold pieces.
Yeah, like this is literally stars but better, because the stars pieces came in the box with it. You don't have to collect them all. All the gold pieces were there. They just
Nice.
You just had to take apart what
Making
you built
stars
and then make it bigger.
But
So
as a kid, I would have done that. I think as a kid, that
I
would
mean,
be a fun feature I do.
But then
As an
once you're
adult
done with your
collector, not really.
imagination, do you just take it apart? You're like, oh yes, my dragon is done fighting. I'm about to
Yeah,
level him all the way back down to tiny
I don't
lizard
know.
man.
I don't know what
know.
the
I
point
mean-
of this is.
When I was a kid, I sometimes played like, oh no, now the good guys got beat, so the dragon's weaker now. They have to get him back up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I could see kids do this.
I
That's
could see it as well. I could also see it from the angle of like, these are the parts that are designed to be swapped out between your characters. If you
Mhm.
like get one that's red, get one that's blue. Later on, they release more parts, and then you just like swap them out, customize them, yada yada. So it's
Mhm.
I think it's an example of showing you can have a base build with interchangeability, and two, I think that kids would actually do this. Obviously, we wouldn't, because We're older, and
Yeah.
we look at that and go, the final form is just objectively better. Why would we not display it like that? But it's definitely a play feature that is being advertised for it, and thus I think we'll see use, especially in terms of like swapping out parts with different sets.
Mm-hmm. Fair. That's a good point. But yeah, so that is the Evo function for anyone who's curious about these sets. It's interesting.
I just don't get it. Like, look at the back of the fire dragon, and I'm like, at what point would I? And I'm like, as a kid, because I was a kid once, and I did play with my sets as well. I used to do all sorts of elaborate play sequences. I can't imagine a scenario where I would want to have that like gimped, like weak dragon. Like,
yeah, it's for storytelling.
Just chilling.
Yeah, like,
oh
Yeah.
My dragon, he just picks up like the gold armor, or my dragon randomly grows wings mid battle. Like,
I mean
don't
that's how I played. It's always like, and suddenly with the power of friendship, my
Or
dragon has wings,
or like they
something
go-
Maybe
like
it's
that.
they
because I
go-
played with collectibles. Like, get the thing, I mean, Ninjago has that, get the fang blades, get the
Yeah.
amulets, get the whatever. I didn't play like, I guess with the exception of Kanohi masks, if
Yeah.
masks count as an Evo feature. But like, I didn't display my Toa without a mask. They had the golden masks. So they looked fine by themselves. What this has created is essentially the same situation as Bionicle G2 ran into with the Toa Uniters and the creatures, which is like you have to make your sets incomplete so you can then complete them later. But at least with this set, it's all in the same set. With Bionicle, you literally had to buy like multiple just to make your set look decent, and that was not good.
Yeah, that's
This
not
isn't
good.
so bad. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
if you and Sakota are the type to play like that, then I guess there is an audience. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Like, this
Yeah.
concept makes no sense from a display standpoint.
Yeah.
It might make sense from a play standpoint, though. So
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I can see it from the perspective of like a kid playing the same story as like what was advertised for Bionicle Stars. Go hunt down the golden armor, and you
Yeah.
hide it under a
Yeah.
blanket or in a chest or something. Beat up the bad guy, and wow, look what we found! Now our dragon's stronger than ever. That kind of play.
Fair enough.
They also encourage for you to do that in the instructions. With the instructions, they tell a story, and every once in a while you'll get a drawn image of the set as you build it, whether you are building the dragon or you're building one of the serpentine, to see how the story will continue.
I would really
and
like that.
it encourages the Evo function with that as well, which I think is really cool. Unfortunately, that happens one time.
also
Because
to all
unless
the
you go back.
Ninjago
ahead.
Ninjago set completionist collectors, I'm sorry you have to buy these 3 times. That's just how it works.
Nice.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Sakota dealing in the unfortunate truths.
Phew, glad I'm not doing that. Oh man.
That's
That's no bueno.
that's basically
Yeah.
all I got for these.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a neat concept, but I don't think that enough is being done with it right now to really justify it, because I don't think that the sets look good until they're done.
Yeah.
So.
If it looked like in the instance of the fire dragon, if it looked like that as the first final product, and then you could build more to it to make it a bigger dragon, maybe. But the issue with that is the amount of pieces that you would have to add to it and how much you have to take apart in order to make it bigger, which is that's already an issue with Jay's lightning dragon, or his thunder dragon, because you literally have to take apart his tail, take apart his like stomach, and make him bigger as you evolve him, which comes to like maybe what happens if you lose pieces when you're trying to do that, or it just gets a little too much of a hassle rather than just adding armor and gold pieces to it. So
True.
but alas, that is the Evo function of these Evo sets.
All right.
Shall we continue to the big boy?
Yes.
Let's talk about the big boys. Set number 71766. Lloyd's Legendary Dragon.
Lloyd's fat dragon.
He's not fat. He's just top heavy.
Fat with a PH.
He's all of his strength.
Those are all muscles, okay?
Yeah,
Yep.
he's strong, man.
Extremely ripped.
Just don't look at his back end.
It is very, very cartoonish in its proportions. That's for sure.
Very.
Yeah, but I
cartoonish.
like that.
But it's
I like it too. It's very charming in a sense
I've
that
been
it's
pondering for a month how I feel about this, and I still don't know.
You should you needed to see it in person. I think
I would
it's-
like to.
Yeah.
It's like
It's-
seven.
I really like the body build. I didn't like the head at first, but then I watched some reviews, and I don't like the angles they show the head in, like the promotional material. It looks better in person, I think.
I love that.
And I really like the
personally.
color scheme too.
Oh yeah.
Colors are nice. Build looks nice. It's certainly a different aesthetic for Ninjago Dragons. I just don't know how I feel about the smooth blue belly, or why there's so much like dark blue to begin with. Like,
Yeah, that was definitely something we talked about in the review. Where like the dark blue is cool. It's just so prevalent.
it's like its primary color.
It's like the green is, and honestly, like when you look at it without the wings, I feel like the blue is more prevalent than the green, which is like,
Yeah.
isn't this Lloyd's dragon? So
odd.
it's very
I
weird.
think it's the color, but it's also the texture clash. Because that is it. The belly is like so round. It's so smooth. It's strange. It's a weird look, but I mean, hey, props for originality. You can't say this is a carbon copy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like this move works well with these pre-molded new heads they have, the smooth textures.
Right.
So I think that works for this dragon.
Yeah. I love the
I don't know how to
cloth
feel
rings.
about it. I legitimately don't. I flip flop. I kind of want it, but I don't want to spend $70 on it. It's like very expensive.
It's also big. It's a big dragon. Like, it's.
I would
You
ask
see
you
how-
if
you
it's
see
bigger than
how-
the Skull Sorcerer's dragon, but I bet you've never built that, have you?
I have not built it yet. Now, I
Heresy.
did put it next to the Firstborn, and Firstborn is just a little bit bigger of it in both, both length and height. It's just barely bigger, but even still, like Firstborn's a big dragon. Like,
Yeah.
Firstborn is
That's
big.
the word.
I'm
the
looking at
same
Firstborn
price,
right
right?
now, and this thing is definitely solid.
First one was the same price, right?
70 was Firstborn $70?
I think Firstborn was more than 70.
Because
I think
she had
Firstborn's more
a
than
side
70
build.
because
She had a side build.
there's
Yeah.
the helicopter.
Firstborn, nope. Firstborn was 70.
Oh,
Wow.
What's the piece
Wow.
difference?
Hold on. Let's just point this out once again.
747.
The juniorization tax. So Firstborn not only had a side build, but it had, now stick with me here, 6 minifigures. And the dragon is a little better, bigger rather, and it has 882 pieces.
The dragon
Okay.
is maybe like a bit bigger in size, but it's like not like as much mass. So
No, it's
true.
not. It's got more things going on in the whole entire torso of the dragon, while this one is like top heavy, and then it kind of fades away when it gets down to the legs.
Even still, yeah, it's 140 less pieces.
yeah.
2 fewer minifigures and no side build.
Yeah.
We've
Oof. That's
stuff's going downhill in this compare. These are not favorable comparisons for Ninjago Core.
one thing I do want to mention with this dragon are the claws.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad in picture, but
I rather like it in picture.
If you look closely, the pieces are actually different. Like the nails that are closest to the inside of the dragon is a different hinge than the others.
Are you about to ruin this set for me?
Which means that when you tilt the dragon or you move it around, it's hard to make the claws look like they're all doing the same thing, and it's actually easier for some of them to pop off.
Oh no!
That's one thing
Why?
I didn't really like with it.
I like that they are different.
But it looks cool in picture and still, but if they do pop off when you're trying to pose it a lot.
Agony.
That is one thing that is interesting.
Hey, that's my line.
But yeah, I love the. I mean, I think my favorite details with this dragon is the cloth wings #1, and the Seabound blade as its like horns. That is
those are cool.
Yeah,
it's a very good look.
It also has a wing flapping function, which is different than usual and looks pretty cool.
It's superior to Firstborn because it's cloth. Firstborn is vinyl, which is a shame because I wish Firstborn had cloth wings because it looks better. #1, it also doesn't collect dust as easier that I've noticed. And also Firstborn can like kind of move her wings like in and out a little bit better than this one. These wings can't move. They can't close. So, but yeah,
shelf space needed.
So, interesting dragon. It's a nice dragon. I like that they did something new. It's not your traditional Ninjago dragon. It is a very Ninjago dragon. Like was it Zach or Sakura at the beginning said it's very cartoony, which matches Ninjago. Ninjago is very cartoony. It's not a typical dragon that you would find. It's a more bombastic, dragon. So it works. LJ, what are your thoughts?
I mostly spoke my thoughts and opinions during the review. I think it's a very impressive looking dragon. Like, I don't mind the cartoony look. I think it's perfectly serviceable. I don't like that the wing function goes forward and backward. That bothers me. And I do feel that the asymmetry of the claw pieces, like the talons on the claws, I'm not thrilled about that either. And it needs more green. But outside of that, it is really impressive. Visually speaking, the head mold, the head design is excellent. I really enjoy it, but hearing all that comparison is difficult, and that's rough.
Big Satch.
So
it's eye-opening, and then especially seeing things like they got away with a $70 dragon like this, and we didn't even like bat an eye until we looked
core tax.
So, Ulti, what are your thoughts?
I don't really like the dragon at all.
Nice.
I think the colors are goofy. I think the design is goofy. I hate I can respect what they did with the chest, where it's like a massive chest, and you can kind of believe that the boo's about to breathe fire and everything. I just think it kind of sucks in comparison to other dragons we've gotten before. I mean, it's the best dragon we got this wave, but
not a high bar.
Yeah,
I just feel like there have and probably will be better dragons.
I do want to do a quick shout out. On the Masters of Brigjutsu channel, Joshua Deck did a speed paint of this dragon.
Oh yeah,
and it is phenomenal.
Awesome.
I loved how he drew it. So if you want to check that out, see how he interpreted the dragon and his amazing art, just wanted to give you a shout out for that, Josh.
We love Josh.
We love Josh.
Or at least we love Josh.
Yeah, so,
continue.
But yeah, that's Lloyd's legendary dragon. Shall I move on to the temple?
Go for it.
Let's do it. Set number 71767, Ninja Dojo Temple. This comes with a giant temple, but more importantly, Kai's mech Kai's,
Cold Mac.
Mech Kai's.
I'm really
Cole's
glad
mech.
they included Cole's mech in this. He finally gets a
Kai's.
Yeah,
win.
I'm so glad. I know it's in a different set, you know, but like, honestly, the fact that Cole gets his mech, it makes me so happy that he's.
I have a new.
It's like a
I have a new
participation
Ninjago
trophy,
fan
right?
theory.
I'm glad
Do you guys
I'm glad they
remember
gave us a
when?
color scheme for his mech?
Do you guys remember when Cole said that the skull of Hazador is red? I think Cole is just
Cole's
colorblind.
Cole is colorblind. That is great. I love that.
You know-
I love that you brought that up. He probably
Why
saw
are
it.
we
and he's
making this
like,
joke, guys?
You know, I really do think that red is such a complimentary color to Cole's
You shut
black.
up. You shut up. You shut up. We're not bringing the
It's such a
Firestone mech
shame-
into this. We're
It's
not
such
bringing
a
them into
shame
this.
that he has to like loan out all of those mechs all the time. You know, like you'd think they just give him his own at this point. Like,
You know-
he's always
Okay.
borrowing
Just
Kai's.
so
Just
people
so
aren't
people are
confused.
knowing, just so people aren't confused. We're gonna get to this later. But the reason why we're talking about this is because in the new shorts, there is a certain line while Cole is in the fire mech from this set they're about to talk about, and he says, "My mech won't fit." To which my brain stopped working for about 3 seconds. Because I was like, that's not his mech. And then all of a sudden it was like, I saw flashes of the Firestone mech come back into my head. It's like, we're not doing this again.
Cole
We're
getting
not
his
doing this
hand-me-downs be like.
I definitely think it'll be interesting to compare it to such classics like Cole's mech from 2013, the one I posted in the Patreon chat.
SCCBS.
There's also Cole's mech jet from Prime Empire.
Guys, we ran out of time today. We're going to go ahead and stop this podcast. We're going to... I have some talking to do with my fellow hosts. We're going to... I'm getting lightheaded, y'all. This is no joke.
Wow, it's
So
too...
I've been
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
Sure, answer.
go ahead. I'm good.
So I'm in a weird position with this set because objectively it's a masterpiece and it looks like one of the best out of the wave. But like, does anyone else have this thing with it where like it just feels like we've done this before? Does anyone
No.
else have that vibe?
I love this set.
Yeah, to be honest, I quite like this set.
I love it too. But
We've
like,
done it. We've
I
done
feel
it
like
before.
we've done this before.
But those are all retired, so we need another one.
I guess that's true. That's a good way to
I-
look at it.
This set is by far my favorite from the new wave, and like, yeah, we've had a bunch of Ninjago temples, but this one is quite unique in the way it's built. It's kind of similar to the Temple of Fortitude in Rebooted, but that's like,
Yeah.
how many years has it been since that?
It looks
I-
like rebooted and the
I-
monastery from Legacy like
I
combined
actually-
together.
I relate this a lot to the Temple of the Ultimate Weapon.
Like
because,
the wall.
It's a wall
Because the
with
stone
back
foundation.
function. Well,
Yeah.
the stone foundation, but also because it's a thin temple with rooms in the back.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dark Toxinova. Haley about to destroy the first of the 3 virtues. But yeah, it's very, very similar when it comes to that function. This one does, however, look more towards the Ninjago kind of, I want to say brand, because of the colors.
Yeah.
It definitely, it like you said, it looks like Temple of Fortitude, just not as wide. It's more tall.
Tall. Vertically wide.
String bean.
Why?
And it also has more. It has more more fun functions to it, like a wall that can break.
More
which-
function.
functions, right?
Okay,
Wall
but
that can break.
see,
I'm a fan.
I don't like the wall that can break. That function really bothered me. Like I don't know if you recall me mentioning during the review, Haley.
Oh yeah, I remember because you got it wrong.
Well, no, at first I
And
got
then
it
you're like,
wrong.
oh, that's how it works.
But the thing is, like,
But then it still sucks.
yeah, it's even though I figured it out, it still wasn't fun
Yeah.
because it didn't.
But still a function. But it's still a function.
Yeah,
I
bad
don't
luck.
like the breakable wall
function.
because it reminds me of Halo 5.
And then you also get
my
like
God.
you get other side builds, you know, with
Yeah.
the training area with Nia where she can like do her little water stuff. You get
That one
the
bothered me too.
yeah. We also get Kai's mech to
Cole's
go
mech.
with a
That's a funny way of pronouncing Cole.
Look, if anyone here can pronounce Cole, it's me.
Evidently not. No.
It's so weird. Like you're going back and forth between saying, like, are you okay?
No, I'm
Kyle,
not
the
okay.
ninja of magma.
You know,
It's a
maybe we
really
need to
cool
make
dialogue.
maybe we need to make Cole's mech the mascot of Ninjago Cast.
I agree.
Can't
All
do
right.
that.
No,
Joking.
no.
I mean, we could turn Cole's mech into Tahu Kendoka.
I am the sensei here.
Yeah, we
I
need to
determine.
respect this wave. We finally got
we have
Chokin's
Chokin.
family.
Yeah.
Chokin's tribe.
Joking.
One day we'll get a ham sandwich in the set.
Okay.
So you can be happy. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Josh.
Holy
Yeah, no,
shit.
don't get me wrong. I like this set. This set's very well built. It's just like, especially like again, for the price point,
Mm-hmm.
feel like the monastery is a bit better than this because it has curvature to make it look like a full building instead of just a wall. I don't know.
And I
But the
talk about
price
why
isn't
I think
bad
it's
or
the
anything.
best,
It's
It's
not bad.
1,300 pieces, has a whole bunch of minifigures. Then the two side builds too.
No,
The
I know.
new Pixel, which is finally.
I know.
Yeah,
we
that's
finally got
that's the
Pixel.
true highlight of this
That's
set.
why,
Is Pixel.
that's why this is the best dojo set of all time. At first, I thought the mech was hers because like that has the original like samurai mech color scheme going on. It's got like the shoulder
Yeah.
cannon, but apparently it's Cole's, so I guess that theory was wrong.
You're definitely right. It's good to have one of these on shelves at all time, and it's definitely very impressive. I like the bridge.
Yes.
The bridge is neat. On the subject of the mech,
Ninjago abridged.
just because I talked about Zane's earlier, just like I like how they were able to add a shoulder-mounted cannon to the mech. I like the feet of this mech better than Zane's. I don't like how he doesn't have wrist articulation.
Oh, but he has Mata hands
But-
now.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
her
Hands are a bit
articulation.
weird.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
see-
Those are Mata hands.
Okay, so I have both of these mechs in front of me. And I gotta say, I really much prefer Cole's mech from the temple. I don't know how to speak English.
Apparently not. You mispronounced Kai.
Uh-huh.
As the person that just mispronounced
Is that
Cole,
someone's
jeez.
dog?
No, that was
Yeah,
our
It's,
sensei.
it's Cole's dog.
Really, this is Cole's mech, since Kai's mech is in the another set we still have to cover.
Oh my god, I love
Oh,
that
true.
mech so
Oh, you're right. That's a good point.
Pixel in this set is amazing.
Continuing the
and
theory of hand-me-downs.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay,
new
The
so-
Pixel
pixel figure is
awesome.
great.
I'm gonna try and talk over Haley screaming for a second here, but
Well,
she finally got the new hair in silver, which is amazing.
Base.
I don't know why Haley's upset about that.
just because she hates Pixel.
No,
Wow, Haley.
I said Pixel was the best part of this set.
And finally, after about like 7 million years, she has a separate hairpiece from Nia because Nia's using like the headband hair. now,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes, Pixel.
Yeah,
Which
I
is-
mean-
which is gonna make like at least 2
I-
people happy, I guess.
Mhm.
Probably
but
brick
like
the figure.
I really like
Oh,
the torso
I'm
print
absolutely
of the
gonna do
Pixel minifigure.
It's
how it has like
so
an X
good.
on it for Samurai X, and the back even says like Pixel in Ninjago writing, and the armor
And
looks really
well,
cool.
it's so detailed as well as like
Yeah.
there's so much like technical
Pixel love.
greebling, and so I am 1,000,000% like bricklinking this as soon as I can.
You gotta buy the full set.
Brickling
get her.
time.
Oh, what? Just to
Gonna
get
get
Cole's
me.
mech?
You know what torso ain't so great though?
Square Cole.
It's all right.
Coles.
It's all right because
No.
that's why it isn't so good, because his mech covers it up.
Exactly. You know, you can't
Wait.
see it if he's riding his mech.
I
Wait,
hate
the
you
guy
all.
with the squares is Cole? I thought that was Kai.
I
Oh
hate
my
you
God.
all so much.
Looking at them side by side, why did they do
Cole's
his
the
torso
one
like
on the left.
You know, that I asked myself the same question too, Tyler. I look at them all side by side, and then there's Cole that has
why?
dynamite bricks.
What?
I think it's like just supposed to be like samurai armor.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what it's supposed to be. It just
But
doesn't
no-
look good.
It's
I think it would have
been a
looked
trend.
cool
It's
if they
been a
made
trend
it.
for Cole.
Yeah, that he's got some armor. I think it would have looked
Yeah.
cool if it was like dark brown and not orange.
I mean, my biggest issue with it is that the shaping clashes heavily with his elemental shaping on his sash. That it just, those two shapings together just don't work very well. If it was a darker color, it might have worked better, but also because his chest has so much square on it, like I feel like when I look at it, that is what my eyes are drawn to first, is his squares, not his sash.
I agree.
Which is the opposite of all of the other ninja, except for Zane.
I agree.
Well, to be fair, Zane's torso print is really good.
Zane's torso print is great, and part of me wishes Cole had the same thing for other reasons. But
Bro, I feel like it's for the same reason.
It doesn't matter because it'd still be
Perhaps.
covered up. It'd still be covered up
It-
by his mech.
That's true. Oh,
Anyways,
I just noticed
but-
another amazing thing in this set.
okay,
We finally got the Praetorian Guard shoulders in gunmetal.
Yeah, those are in
Yeah.
the other sets too. In the
hmm
car, for
That
example,
means I
the
get
J
to
car.
save money.
hmm
Okay, maybe not that much money, but
but it's a good set.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. It's definitely grown on me, but I feel like there should be more to do. I even mentioned that during the review, especially with that one wall function not, being such a much, in my opinion. Maybe I was still doing it wrong. Maybe there was something else that I just wasn't doing correctly, that I was missing, and I was misunderstanding its purpose, but it just... I don't know. I didn't like it. As far as the mech is concerned, Kai's mech is definitely preferable, in my opinion, to Zane's. I just like its overall design, the color scheme. I like that more. It's a lot more consistent. The foot design is a lot better. The
Design is
armor,
cool, yeah.
the armor layering looks really good. The arms are a little stumpy without, the articulation, but I can get past
it has even less articulation than we were talking about earlier.
But
Now this one has less than the Toamata.
yes, but it does also have
I mean, it
the...
has the shoulder cannon.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah, you're right.
it equals out.
So now it's part of Ignika.
Nice.
all in all,
Lucaru mech.
yeah. I really like the design work on this one in comparison, and I think that this trends in a lot better direction than Zane's does, and I want to see more like this one.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
maybe a mix of the two.
I like having weapons in both hands, and I like being able to move those hands.
And I guess that's where the diversity comes in, is you get to pick how you build them, and each one can be built differently depending on your preference.
That's
if
true.
you don't want to keep it set accurate, so.
And I definitely think that, again, when I say it trends in a better direction, like there are some improvements to it overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree that we haven't seen the system where it ultimately can be. Like there's a lot more that it can do. But Meso, you are convinced visually. You need to like see things to really get invested in them. But
True.
I'm looking at this from a conceptual standpoint of there's a lot of potential here. There's a lot that can be done eventually. I still feel that way about the Marvel mechs. And I still think, honestly, if you combine both of these, I think you're golden.
Well, see, I don't know, because I guess to end the discussion, because I was going to say this earlier, and you were like, let's look at the rest of the Evo sets, see how they're done. My general thesis with this is because I know like giving critique is important as far as like what could be improved or whatever. I don't know really what could be improved because I think it's important to stay on brand. My core criticism of these is that, and what I would improve is they need more articulation. The figures need to be realized fully with better articulation. But if that lack of articulation is a design point, which it is for playability, and moving away from that was intentional, which it was, then see where I'm going with this? What exactly can be improved within any kind of like reasonable time frame? Could we get more armor pieces? Yes. Could we get different limb pieces for bigger constructions, bigger mechs? Yes. Neek conceptualized that one, longer limb piece. But like as far as these core figures, if they're not going to make the joints bend, I feel like their potential is always going to be pretty much locked to what it is right now, and that's by design. Locked.
The perfect compromise would have been if like these locked pieces would have had like a ratchet joint similar to like the bigger mechs or the Knight's Kingdom stuff.
I agree.
So it wouldn't wiggle around if you shake it, but you could actively pose it.
Yeah, I feel like that would have added a. I feel like because then you're having two different parts with that extra intricacy, I imagine that would have been a significant price bump too.
Yeah, probably.
So that's kind of where I'm at. It sounds pessimistic. It's not really meant to be. It's just like I don't want to say vacuous things like, oh, I hope it gets better, when the getting better that I would want it's not a mistake. Neek didn't do it by accident. He did it very much on purpose. And until they find a way to integrate better articulation into figures of this price point, which the technology just doesn't exist right now, I think this is how it's going to be. And I think they fulfill their roles pretty decently for what they need to be, which is kid-friendly ninja mechs.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're neat. I don't think they're awful by any means.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see them in the 90th anniversary set. Anyway, continuing on with the discussion. What is the next
Why would Castle need?
We got
so
Power Rangers.
It is the last big one.
It's the big one, and that's it.
Well, we have one other one.
Let's do the one other one, and then let's do the big one.
All right, you want to do the
funny one?
The
funny one. Let's do the funny one first, and then we get to the, oh my god, that set exists one. Okay.
In that case, next one we're talking about is set number 71757, Lloyd's Ninja Mech. This set contains approximately 57 pieces and retails for $10.
Hooray!
I don't know why this set exists.
It's a 4+ set, so
it's a 4+.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only thing we can really compare it to in a fair way is Jay's Electromech, and I like this more.
Yes, this
I
is
think
better.
That is pretty
This is better
than that, yeah.
But
why?
Still very lucky in 4+.
I don't get this.
What?
Were the legs really the difference between a 6+ and a 4+ set?
I suppose that they're losing out on like 4 points of articulation.
That's the only difference, though. Like the arms are the same. They replace it.
It's generally more bigger pieces, but
and there's also
they
no
replaced-
hand articulation.
They replaced the legs with the blockier, less movable legs. And then they made the blockier design in general. I get it's just the legs that are kind of like weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are like in total that's like 6 pieces, whereas the other ones are a lot more.
I'd assume the reason for these legs is that it's easier to have the mech stand for little kids and not fall over.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely better than the wide mech.
That is true.
This hurts me. Because I wish we'd just gotten like a standard Lloyd SCCBS mech, and we would have gotten the new SCCBS pieces in lime.
R.I.P. your
Oh my
Lewa dreams.
God.
Yeah, pretty much.
You've
Now-
still got Liwa Kendoka.
We gotta
Mm,
put
That's true.
we gotta put Lewa's mask on top of that though.
we don't
How
have
am
to
I
do
gonna
anything.
possibly build like
That would look
Evo?
That would look
Lewa
really
got
fun.
Lewa got Thorified.
I don't like it, but no, it's fine. It's definitely better than Jay's mech. I'm glad I never hopped on
Yeah.
that bandwagon.
But it's funny.
It is
No,
funny.
It's
The
funny.
This
T-posing
one
mech.
is less funny.
Wide.
I hate that one because I really wanted Legacy Electromech to be good.
yep.
The original one
Yeah.
was so good.
Rip.
Why does this kid in this lifestyle picture look like he has disdain in his face?
Oh my gosh,
like he
it's
doesn't look
Anakin
like he's
Skywalker.
having fun.
Wait, hang on.
looks
This has
good.
got waist rotation.
It does.
Best set of 2022. Amazing. Learn something from this.
This kid's just a future TTV host. He's like, yeah, I remember
Wait.
when I was there having this picture taken.
What hair color is this kid? Like for real?
Blonde.
Is he
This-
is he blonde or ginger?
He's blonde,
Blonde.
Haley.
Blonde.
He's blonde.
Haley, I'm gonna send you like a picture after this, and if you can tell what the colors are in it, it means you're not colorblind. But if you can't see the message in it, it means you are.
I'm not colorblind, but he looks like he has ginger hair, like really
I mean,
light ginger.
All right,
There's-
this is the kid review
There's-
podcast.
There's-
I know,
yeah,
I
there's
know.
something
but
called
I'm
Review
it's-
podcast.
it's tripping me out.
Hey,
I mean,
Haley, have you ever heard of strawberry blonde?
Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Anyways, the kid is adorable, by the way. I don't know who kid that is, but that kid's adorable.
I'm sure they're not
Sure,
going to
come
listen
on.
to
To
this.
walk it back a little bit, it does look like the kid's about to chuck
Yeah.
Lloyd across the room, though.
He does not
He's-
look like he's having fun with that.
He
Okay.
has the
Shut
eyes.
Get
the eyes-
over here!
He's got the same eyes that I saw LJ did when he chucked Zane across the room.
Listen, it had to happen.
And as the future LJ, in 10 years, he's going to start hosting like the Ninjago podcast, but he won't reveal his face. He'll have like a green like ninja mask, and then after he's done like the Ninjago recap reviews, he'll take them off. He'll be like, "Oh, hello, it's me.
It's
the
me,
kid from
Strawberry.
Lifetime."
It's the me from the lifestyle pictures.
It's
All
fine.
right, let's.
I used to play with Lloyd's Ninja Mech.
Anyways, we've given too much attention to this mech. Let's move on to the final set that we're gonna be talking about.
All right.
Oh my gosh, Dakota!
I love it. I love it.
Hi, I'm Lewa.
That's
Okay.
Liwa Kanduva.
Doesn't even look too bad.
There we go ahead. And,
He
There you
looks like a Matoran Bo-Rock mix.
Oh no!
See,
He's
that's an app
he
with Horton
started the
transformation.
metamorphosis.
also, Haley, I gotta ask, just real quick, when you were doing that Lewa impression, why'd you go deeper? You know my voice doesn't sound like that.
Hi, I'm Lewa.
Oh, it's the movie Lewa, never mind. Hello, everyone.
Quick, wind, fly, tree, air, plants. Something.
I haven't quick flied in quite a while.
I haven't been able to bend my knees.
It's the same picture.
Hello, I am
Lewa.
Lewa, mech of air, and I am old.
Dude, Lewa's really let himself go.
You've
Yeah,
let
he
yourself go. Have you
Turn
ever?
on
So why?
Have you ever quick walked a Ninjago mech?
Have you ever quick walk?
Well, today's for quick learning. Stay sharp
All right,
and
all
follow
right.
well. Okay.
Bye, Lewa. We're gonna lock you back up in
Wait,
your cage.
what?
where you
No,
came from.
no, I refuse. I will return. I will. The other two will find me.
He's Irish, isn't he?
Yeah, on the 90th anniversary set. Anyways, let's talk about the final set. LJ, introduce the big boy.
This is set number 71765, Ninja Ultra Combo Mech. The set contains approximately 1,104 pieces and will retail for $90.
This set's cool.
It's amazing that
I
this
love
is
this
like
set.
something that exists on shelves.
$90. That's not even over $100.
Wide.
Yeah, it's very good value.
This is like the same price as the Ultrasonic Raider was, and this is
legacy
definitely
one?
like yeah, this is like infinitely
no.
more value for money.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
way better.
It's not even close.
Like, it looks
Power
phenomenal.
Rangers.
What I find most fascinating about it is that the individual vehicles all look cool by
Mhm.
themselves.
Yeah.
I think that's what I really love about it.
I would have absolutely bought Kai's mech, even if it was like its own set. It's just such
Yeah.
a good design,
Kai's mech looks really good.
and
Oh,
then
yeah.
to know that it can turn into this like even bigger, more amazing mech is like.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we
Neat.
have to point it out whenever it happens, but Kai's mech technically has knees.
It does. It's
Yes.
very impressive.
Which is
Need
I like it.
definitely needs a raise after this.
okay, for real though. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Kudos to Neek.
Like, I'm looking at this set, and like Serrano Days is just going throughout my head. It's like, dude, the thing has twin drills, and they're
It
gold,
does.
and it basically
And,
has
like,
like glasses on the face. It's
Yeah.
it's amazing.
He did
Yeah.
a really good job.
You did good, Neek. You did this for us, and you didn't have to.
I don't know if he did it for us. He might have done it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want a target audience?
But it still
I,
works. It's glorious.
Target audience, me, myself, and I.
I
Yeah,
think
This is the set for us, for our
Yeah.
age.
Yeah. Our demographic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
don't see-
perfect.
Yeah,
there
there
are
are
some
slight
things about it.
issues.
I feel like the legs are very stiff, and that's not even because it doesn't have bendable knees. It's because they're quite literally, they're blocks. They're just
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
it's a little less than stellar, but I understand
yeah.
why.
I
But
think it's
Meso-
a necessary evil, like
It
completely.
is.
Yeah.
But Meso, 10 out of 10, it comes with a Woobot with Zane's vehicle.
The
Yeah,
Woobot
it
is
comes with
great.
an evil Woobot.
The
Yeah.
thing that bothers me most are the open ball joints at the top with the J wings, I guess.
It is,
But
it is
it's not too
distracting.
bad.
But you don't
yeah.
understand, Sakota. That is a Bionicle reference. I'm kidding.
Oh my
Jesus.
Nah, I get you though.
And
It's
the
weird.
fact that Kai's disembodied arms just kind of like Cole's mech's disembodied arms
Nice, good save.
just kind of hang around. It reminds me of Brutaka with like
Yeah.
his tiny back arms that
Yeah,
can
like-
Mhm.
In like a theoretical other universe, I would definitely have like moved things around. Like all the vehicles splitting up irks me because of like my Transformers background, where if they split up during the combination, they die.
Oh.
But for like Power Rangers and other mech stuff, it doesn't really matter. But it annoys me, so that's my take.
Go Power Rangers.
I have your. No, I'm not gonna say it. I won't say it. But don't call it
Well,
Power Rangers again.
Power
It's
Rangers.
like a vein on my forehead.
We love Power Rangers.
I feel like the little side build looks a bit goofy, but it's kind of fun. But I don't really know what it's supposed to
I
be.
love it. It's
I
like a
like it.
flying legged copter. It's great.
I don't know what it is,
But it's like
cool.
a cooling creature. I think it reminds me of the little like beast builds you would get in Invasion from Below, where it was just
Yeah.
like it was
thought
just
like,
four
I don't know, like
ball
a dog.
joints.
or something.
Wait a sec. Haley,
Huh?
remember how we've been discussing about whether certain pieces were used in a particular set and like production times and whatnot? The newest SCCBS set pieces, like, they're in this set.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Oh, they are?
They are. They're in the little like side build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the side build.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yup.
Is
You were
it
s-
in the actual mech, though?
It's in the
No.
set. It is
Oh.
in the set, which is what was disputed.
Well, it's a side build in the set.
Why
It
was this disputed?
Still, yeah.
It was a debate on whether these pieces were built or created for the 90th anniversary set, but they were put in Ninjago first.
I heavily
I would
doubt.
still have need of
I
these
doubt
pieces.
I think much more likely it would just be the other way around. It would be like coincidental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are most certainly designed to develop. I mean,
we know that because
these
that was
were
his map
developed-
base.
Yeah.
These were developed around the same time as the polls were being taken place on Lego.com.
potentially, but
Do we
the
know
thing,
that?
yeah, potentially, but
Potential. I mean,
Ul-
like if you go back,
ultimately-
like 2 years from now, a year and a half, 2 years from now, which is like what they run on for designing sets. It's about the same time, roughly. So that's why, like, when these appeared, it was like, ooh, interesting. That
no, these would have had
arrived
to
this year.
these would have had to have been in development prior to the polls. But even still,
Probably.
what that wasn't even the debate because we were discussing this. You believe that they were being developed at different times, that like the mech was being developed at a separate time than these pieces, but the pieces are in the mech, so like
The
they're
pieces are, yeah, fair.
they're
I mean,
sorry,
they
they're not.
could have been added. Like, these sets could have been, like, finalized, quote unquote, but then they have these pieces that they wanted to add to them, which is possible.
I feel like for a mech of this scope and what they're going for, I don't feel like they would have made changes that late in the game.
The mech
Yeah.
also has
Perhaps.
the new hinge joint that's new for this year, so it also has
Good.
other new pieces.
Which one is that?
The one for for the legs, which they also use in the new
Oh.
Monkey Kid sets.
Oh, true.
Oh, right.
fair
Didn't
enough.
like the evil monkey get a mech that used those? What was his
It
name
just
again?
seems so coincidental.
I know. I'm hopeful.
It's so coincidental.
I'm so hopeful, but
I just don't know why Castle would need mech pieces. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Classic space though.
You guys didn't know 90th anniversary of Knights Kingdom's coming back, baby. Woo!
all right, that's it.
I would love to see like Lord Vladek built with the locked pieces. He would be so tiny. It would be so hilarious.
That would be great.
He would be like an angry manlet, and it would be. Oh, I want that. I want that now. All my hopes for Lego for Bionicle 90th are gone. I want manlet Vladek for 90th.
It's all right. My hopes they're tendential at best.
Mm-hmm.
This set's cool. I kind of want to get it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna get it. It looks really cool.
I definitely can't like afford it, but if I want it.
Nice.
So, as a bridge, the one thing that I am upset about with this set is you will probably never see it in the show or in animation.
Yeah.
It's very depressing.
There is a slight chance, but I feel like there's a lot that would be.
Wait.
But why is that, Haley? Why are you saying
So
that?
there are two chances of this being appeared in animation or in Wild Brains animation. One of them was a tweet that, correct me if I'm wrong, LJ, it was Tommy that tweeted after Neek did his chain saying that these were awesome sets and that they didn't have to on the story side, but they included some of these sets in the new Ninjago season. He didn't say which ones. We just know that some of them will appear.
Yeah, no, it was.
But I don't think it's going to be this one.
I want to find the exact wording he used just
Yeah.
to not take him out of context.
Yeah.
But it was along. Here we go. I found it. Yeah, Neek had posted a Twitter thread talking about the design of the SCCBS, and Tommy said, "Great thread. And while it was not a must request, we did make sure that some of these actually make it into the main canon storyline of Ninjago 2022.
But why are you saying this? Aren't all set waves canon?
Well, this set wave is not.
What does that mean?
This does not come with any canon story. However, it is coming with shorts that is up to your interpretation if they're going to be canon or not. We have gotten a trailer for the shorts. We have gotten a few clips that you could dig around on the new Ninjago.com update to find some little weird clips of these shorts. There was another tweet from Tommy that talked a bit about it. Let me read that out for you all. So, another frequent question, he says, are these shorts canon? And if so, when do they take place? As always, we prefer that you enjoy and learn as you watch and will not confirm or deny at this time. By the end of the approximately 22 minutes, you should be able to make up your own mind about it.
Boo.
Don't like that.
So,
I love you,
basically,
Tommy. You're great, but boo.
These are going to be 6 shorts that can be cut together to make like almost a, what is I guess now 2 current episode lengths, so 22 minutes.
Right.
They're going to be released soon. But the first thing that comes to mind when you look at these shorts is Nia is there. Just chilling in the monastery with all the ninja. To which it's like, huh.
Zane
Okay.
meets the Ice Emperor.
All of my emotional damage from Seabound, and then all of a sudden, poof, she's there.
Well, I mean,
that's gonna be my first indicator as thinking that these are not gonna be canon.
it is really interesting because it's kind of retroactive foreshadowing that they do in one of the shorts, because Nia is very curious about something. And they say curiosity killed the cat. Further,
funny.
She does say she's dying to know.
They also have a cookie.
They do have a cookie.
Scene.
I do have a cookie in that scene. So, while the only way this could be canon if it's like a prequel or like something that happens in between one of these seasons where like this is one of Sensei Wu's big teaching moments or whatnot. The only place I could think this would be in between Island and Seabound, unless they visit events in Seabound. To which I'm like, because they in the trailer they visit the island.
It could be during Seabound too, because there's a time skip in there, right?
There is
a little before Seabound is made AU and this becomes the main continuity.
I hope
but there's also like shots in the Neverrealm with the Ice Emperor and Zane, which timeline-wise and like logic-wise really work.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So there's a few things to discuss here, some of which might not immediately seem like rather relevant just because it's been a month since we've learned this information. I think it's important to get into it. For the shorts specifically, just to explain my boo, we've had this discussion before about like, you know, canon stories, etc., etc. I don't think there's any problem with doing fun shorts that aren't, you know, fully in the canon story. They've done it before. I'm sure they'll do it again. That's not actually new for Ninjago. The reason I don't like the tweet is because it very much reads as like, well, I don't want people to not watch if they know that it's not canon. So if we don't answer it one way or another, we could like string people along until they end up watching. It's the same approach that Marvel is taking. It's the same approach that Marvel is taking to like their television shows.
How did you loop around to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I'm going there. It's the whole maybe not. You know, we can have our cake and eat it too, and not annoy our fan base. You know, but we also don't want to confirm it is or not because we want to play fast and loose with like the story. I don't vibe. I would much rather he just be like, no, these are just fun shorts. Like we're just having fun instead of the whole mystery, because it's obviously not canon. There are things about it that just don't work unless it's some kind of hallucinogenic dream sequence.
Like a dream sequence, a story that is being told, I don't know, Dareth bragging or something.
Unless it's something like that, it's very obvious, and that's fine. I might not care about the paper cuts graphic novels, but some people do. They enjoyed them. It's not like there's no audience for just fun Ninjago-inspired stories.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten a perfect example of that.
I just think it should be outlined as such.
Legacy reimagined shorts.
The Legacy reimagined shorts, the T-shirts, all of those that are non-canon, but still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That way, we'll go back and watch and be like, yeah, we got fun little memories from this, or like fun little plot lines that we would not regularly see in Ninjago, like the ninja forming a band, which was awesome to see happen. But we don't get those moments in the Ninjago canon TV show, but we get to have it somewhere else, and it's fun. So that's what I am hoping for this. It's a fun, situational stuff with the ninja, whether they want to push the agenda of these ninja have to learn these core things.
Level up your
ninja generosity and your balance and whatnot to be ninja. It's very, very much a kind of like these sets. It's not the target audience that we're used to for Ninjago. Yeah. It's for the younger kids, which is okay.
The writing and what we've seen was pretty on the nose.
Big asterisk. It's okay for these shorts that are being connected with a wave of Ninjago that is aimed for a younger audience, but
it's less okay.
Still want the canon Ninjago storyline that is a bit more mature, because it also encourages an older Ninjago fan audience that has been following Ninjago.
Which brings us to the other part of this conundrum, is that this wave is not connected to the story.
It is not.
Per Neek's Twitter thread, after the specialized launches like Prime Empire and Seabound, the markets asked for a wave with the classic Ninjago identity. We would not get any story continuing content in order to make sure we could get started on second half year 2022 as early as possible. Thus, Core was born. And then he goes on to later clarify and, comment somewhere like, yeah, these aren't, there's no season associated with these, which means the snake people, I doubt we'll ever fully know what their deal is, 100%.
Probably not.
They're just snakemen, and that's why there's the concern about whether the vehicles will show up. Hopefully the ninja combo mech will be one of those that makes it into the...
I have an idea for how they could get it into the show.
How?
Right,
Kaiju Protocol 2.
Oh my god, how did you know that's where I was going with this?
Because you're really predictable.
Pixel has them prepped in her cave. I built these years ago after I fought the preeminent single-handedly.
It's nightfall in Ninjago City, and suddenly the preeminent is there. And I'm like,
oh no!
We gotta stop the preeminent for the third time! And they call the Ninja Ultra Combo Mech, and they fight, and they beat it up. And it's amazing.
LT, you should go right for Ninjago.
I could please hire me.
I'm sorry, I should do what?
Huh?
Meso, I should do what?
I said ulti.
Oh, okay.
Not ultra. Ulti should go right for Ninjago.
No, he's gonna turn everything ulti yellow.
I'm gonna introduce the yellow ninja, and he's
the best thing that ulti would do is push heavily for a pixel season, which we should have.
I would.
I think we should have a pixel season. But
yeah. Remember last time we asked for a insert. Last time we asked for insert character season here, Nia died.
And I loved it. Funny.
But before that, we got the best Cole season and probably one of the best seasons ever. So I mean, Seabound's a good season. She just happened to die at the end. Rude.
Can I request another Cole season? Let's see how this goes.
No. I mean,
Maybe I can
I don't know.
request.
I don't know. I don't know who season's up next. But after Nia's season, we're like, wait. So maybe we shouldn't be rooting for Ninja to Mana season. So
Nah, they should all die. Woo season, please.
Give it
I
to
want-
Zane. He dies all the time.
no, we're gonna see all.
I want the
we're-
TV spin
We're gonna see all the ninja on the box, and we're gonna be like, "Oh no,
Bad
oh,
news.
no!"
I want them to explore why TV turned evil between like Seabound and
my
the
gosh.
trailer for the mech.
You mean between Hidden Side, Seabound, and the...
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, I
So-
can't believe they used my fellow TVs as like flares for torpedoes. I'm joining the Serpentine."
So yeah, the core like short writing, the fact that the shorts are non-canon, all that stuff, totally chill. Asterisk, if that's not the norm.
Yeah,
And for what it's worth, because I want to be fair, make sure we get
Mhm.
all the facts out there. Neek did respond multiple places. I think his post on Eurobricks and the Eurobricks topic was probably his most clear-cut response, where he was just like, don't worry, since the beginning we've always understood that Ninjago needs its TV show in the long term. There are no plans to do away with the show. This wave is just a special case to account for shifts in consumer demands and the plans for our second half year wave.
nice.
So, that as it is, totally chill. It brings up some questions in my mind.
Mhm.
Like, if core is a thing, what is going to happen with legacy? But we don't
That
really
is
know anything about
that is
that as of yet.
unfortunately a question that we will have to see, not
Yeah.
ask, because I don't. They, as we learned in the interview, they cannot answer that question. That is going to be a wait and find out sort of response. So we can assume, and I guess assume is probably the best word for it, that the later half of this year will have sets that are directly related to the upcoming Ninjago season that is being released later this year.
I think that's a safe bet, yes.
And I am personally hoping that we're gonna get one of the best waves. If Tommy is hyping this season up to being like, a lot crazier than Seabound, then I can expect that these sets are probably gonna match that. So I'm very,
We'll see.
very excited.
My interest is basically like, so if we assume core is going to be a regular thing, which if this takes off, pretty safe, assumption.
Maybe.
Would that mean that we would only be getting? I guess it would mean we'd only be getting one season a year.
Yeah,
Which
I mean,
we kind of have been for.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, not really, because Prime
No.
Empire and Master of the Mountain. It's just the last year where we got the abridged island wave.
yeah,
And I mean, like, if it comes down to no story and a really good summer season versus the island style storytelling and a really good summer season, I'd probably just stick with no story, to be
Yeah.
honest. But it is
Shorts.
something to consider.
Shorts.
We are getting less content now than we would otherwise. At least
I
canon
think-
story content.
Tommy said there will be 2 Ninjago installments in 2022.
We'll see
I
how-
wonder if
Would be
one
the
of those
shorts.
are these shorts. I don't know.
it might
I
be
hope
one
not,
of the shorts.
but yeah, it's possible.
I don't see how there's room for anything else.
Yeah,
I
unless
mean, it
we
could
have
be a
forgetting
double
two seasons.
season like the Fire and Ice chapter.
That would be great. Oh my
That would be
gosh.
interesting.
That would be
I like
Real-
the ice chapter because it has the kaiju protocol in it.
Shut up.
Real quick. In regards to the shorts, there's something I was curious if we could talk about real quick. Because we've all seen them. They're pretty short. Well, we've seen the snippets
We've seen
from
the pieces.
the episodes, but we did get to
trailer.
hear something new. It's Andrew
Oh, yeah,
Francis
this-
as Cole.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is the official. I wish it was more official. That we got like full stuff instead of just little snippets. But yes, this is the first time that we have heard Andrew Francis' performance of Cole. What are some thoughts about it?
I thought he was great. honestly. Like, he did a really
Yeah.
solid voice. It's definitely a little different, but it's definitely his own, but it's still very recognizably Cole. And I thought it was really cool in one of the shorts where like they're fighting the lava monster, and like, you know, obviously they win. He turns to the other ninja and is like, "You guys could have been lava bones." And then the other ninja are like, "Could have been, but we're not." And then he like finds his best friend Takua, and he's like, "Takua, you were always different."
I'm waiting
You may
for
laugh
like
now.
I'm waiting for like an actual episode where it's not just like
Yeah.
constantly
It's a
smash.
bit hard to tell right now.
Cutting
I'm gonna
between-
need to
yeah.
wait. I full disclosure, I didn't really watch these. I watched like a minute, then realized it was smash cutting and was like, I'd just rather wait for the full shorts. But I did watch long enough to hear Andrew Francis. My comments so far are that he is. It does not sound that distinguishable from Jala, from Moro, from other characters voiced by him, which is not a bad thing necessarily. I want to see how he, like you guys were saying, I want to see how he does in a full setting.
Yeah.
But I did not get that there was that, you know, it did not sound like he was really putting on a voice to me.
Yeah, I
He
feel like
didn't- He didn't
we
sound like
shouldn't
Jala to
expect
me.
it to be a full-on imitation.
Mm-mm.
It's
Yeah.
own thing.
He didn't.
And if you go in with that expectation and don't like hyper focus on
Yeah.
small
Mhm.
differences between him and Kirby's
I
voice,
think it will be
you
fine.
won't notice.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were, you know, like, oh, I wonder if he'll try to sound like Kirby, and he did not go that route, and I think that's probably for the best
Yeah.
in the
Hey.
long term.
Maybe in like the first episode he'll like choke on a piece of cake or something. Like, and they'll start talking with Andrew Francis as well.
My God.
I don't think that he sounded terribly like other Andrew Francis characters. I didn't recognize him as Jala at all. I was just screwing
I
around because
think
he voices Jala.
we only heard him in his kind of battle voice when he's like, you know, yelling everything and he's like very excited, whatnot. I'm very curious to hear what he sounds like when he's just regularly talking or having an emotional scene or
That
whatnot.
will be the
that-
deciding point.
That I think I'm very curious. I have full faith in Andrew. Like I just want to hear what it sounds like. But just I felt like I couldn't hear enough of it.
That's
Like I
fair.
wanted to hear more of it, and we only got so much. And I just like I need to like, and I think that's what people are saying mostly is we need to get a chance to get used to it, and then we'll be all good to go. I feel like we haven't gotten that chance yet.
I mean,
I
it didn't
think
sound off-putting to me as it is.
No.
It sounded fine.
I think the way he delivered the line, "My mech won't fit," was pretty good.
I
Thanks,
agree.
Old T.
Yeah,
That's,
like
I heard that, and then I literally like Kai had a speech afterwards. I didn't hear a single thing from that speech. I was like freaking out. I was like, "Wait, my mech?" Which- what?
I was
It
laughing.
was, yeah, we were, and finally I heard him say something about like courage at the very end, and then I was like, okay,
We need
But-
to level up our
but-
courage.
well, I need to go
level
back
up our
and
curiosity.
see that set again. Make sure that's his mech. I swear.
We need
Yeah.
to Evo our courage.
You know,
Yeah,
it-
my
it-
favorite part was definitely when Cole's
You-
mech wouldn't fit.
It's funny because I noticed that as they progress through these different environments, they keep getting more sets. Like they get
Yes.
more and more. So part of me is realizing that Cole might get his mech from the lava monster. So it might actually be his mech in the
Oh,
shorts.
That would be
That-
strange.
Kai
Hopium.
has in. Is this
It's
a
all
reference to the
twisted.
Firestone mech? Is this done on purpose?
Oh my god.
Maybe.
Is this just the fire mech, but it's not?
In reverse.
But it has Cole, so it's the Firestone mech.
So now twice in a row, Kai has lent Cole as mech for a season or something?
Yeah.
No, twice in the row, Cole doesn't get a mech, but he does in the show or in the shorts, and then it isn't representative in set or in set form. Yeah.
How
So
strange.
It's also funny how everyone has something from the new sets, but Nia gets the Scott car from Prime Empire.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, the Scott car has to do something. You know, like
Yeah.
Scott is such a weird
I'm
character.
shocked that she's not driving the Jay and Nia car. Like, shouldn't she just be driving
Yeah.
that?
We have eliminated the threat known as Nia. Stupid.
Anyways, any other thoughts
On the combo mech,
on anything?
I have an idea that could potentially make a lot of profit for Lego with the combo mech, right? So
Okay.
currently there are four ninja, 4 components in the mech. But wait, there are 6 ninja on the team. 2 of them aren't in the mech. Give them vehicles that combine with the mech. Like Lloyd already has like a jetpack mech from like the ice season. Slap it on there, and then give Nia like a chest plate mech or something, like a gun mech. I don't really know.
Gun mech.
That's my idea.
Can you build Nia's gun mech, Ulti?
I'll do my best.
Nice.
But Sakota can.
But he's on vacation.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
taking
Yeah,
a break.
Sakota's on vacation.
You're on vacation from
So
weekly builds. What about monthly builds?
Build what your good friend Ulti tells you to build.
Don't do it. Don't do it. No, Sakota, you have to. Ulti has to beat you at a game of chess in order to get you to make it.
Oh no.
I'd finally forgotten. After years of like repression and therapy, I'd finally moved on. And you
Build a chessboard.
ripping
gosh.
open old wounds.
Yeah, I have many more thoughts, but they're about like the shorts and what they could mean for the future of Ninjago, and I think I'm just gonna save that for when we talk about the shorts.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna.
so I'm pretty
we'll
good for
definitely
now.
do. Once we get to see the full shorts, we'll definitely do a podcast of kind of like,
What's their deal?
yeah, let's talk. It's kind of like, what's
What's the deal with
Yeah.
airline food and
Digested.
Ninjago shorts?
Oh my
So so yeah, that's the podcast.
Yeah,
Yay.
Yay!
Locked.
I was gonna say like
locked.
we locked 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours,
thin.
y'all.
Spartan locked.
Okay.
Too thin.
All right.
Oh wait, I forgot that these sets do have.
Yeah, they have set animations.
Not even set. No. The Ultra Battle Ninjas. That's what I forgot.
What?
That's the true
What?
short. That
Oh, that's like.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I finally
the
clicked
Ultra
in.
Battle Ninjas. Yeah, the one
Yep.
that Neek and Nick made. The
Yeah.
the
The
real
pitch.
Presentation.
Yep.
the present. No, it's an episode. It's the pilot episode, and it's amazing.
I agree with this.
That is the true short.
Yeah,
that
that
we-
video was cool.
That's the shorts we deserve.
I want to work at a company where I can present something like Ultra Battle Ninjas and get like make
Applause.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm perfectly okay with this. In which case, season 16 is a 10 out of 10. That
Yep.
episode was immaculate.
Mm-hmm. Fully great. So, anywho, that's all. Do we need to do plugs before we leave?
Yeah, we can.
All right.
All right,
All right.
go for it, LJ.
Thank you all so very much for tuning in. If you're interested in joining in the discussion further, head on over to the TTV message boards at board.ttvchannel.com. You need to be 13 years or older and follow our rules and agree to the terms of service, and you'll have a good time. Additionally, if you're interested in supporting us, head on over to our Patreon. For as low as $1 a month on patreon.com/the channel, you can join our Patreon Discord server, as well as our Minecraft server on the islands of Wayanui and Motunui, with hopefully more to come. Finally, head on over to Twitter at the TTV channel, as well as our individual ones.
Yay!
Ooh.
All
So
right.
stay tuned when the shorts fully come out for us discussing that. And then, of course, perhaps other podcasts to follow or leading up to the next season of Ninjago coming. We don't even know when, but sometime this year. So
hopefully I get it first again.
Listen here.
Oh boy. Anyhow.
Do you guys like watching the Seabound on Cartoon Network?
It was great.
We like watching Seabound on Netflix.
On Netflix. Yeah. Anyway,
right.
Thank you all for listening. Cue the music. Thank you all for listening to Ninjago Cast. I have been your host, Sensei Wolf.
I'm LJ.
I'm Messa.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Alti.
And I'm still Ninja Star Breaker.
Cringe.
That's horrible. I'm sorry.
I hope you all have a very ninja day, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Can't wait to see what the next Cole mech they release is. Maybe it'll be in a darker red.
No, we're not